It's the equivalent of National Candy Corn Day. Some of y'all refer to it as Halloween, but it is Candy Day, Preston Thorne, Candy Day, Jen Jensen, where we all put on or we pretend to be something or somebody we're not. That's pretty much every day for me. But we pretend to be something or somebody we're not, and we get free treats from everybody. Got your favorite costume you ever wore?
Yeah, I mean, I was a ninja for several years in a row.
Oh, you just went to the well several times.
Yeah.
Was this because you loved being a ninja or because it was easy and it didn't require a lot of effort and you were getting the candy?
I don't know. I think probably between the grades of like 1 through 4, pretty infatuated with ninjas. Maybe even Ninja Turtle, definitely along those lines. So you just make the ninja, then you just put a little bandana on, picking your Ninja Turtle, and you kind of get that squared away. So that's probably my go-to for about the years when I was in dressing up.
That was the go-to?
Yeah.
Now, was that the favorite?
That was probably the only. I think I had a very limited run.
Oh, okay.
Of Halloween costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was about a 3-year run.
This is a shame to hear. I feel like we might have to work through that a little bit.
Maybe. It was about a 3-year run, and that was about it.
Potential some issues there. Jen, got a favorite Halloween costume that you wore growing up or as a young adult?
I don't think anything just really sets me on fire. I was a walking billboard one time. I guess I thought that was kind of cool and interesting. It's the Pink Panther ones.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, walking billboard bills. All right, but Pink Panther, yeah.
Yeah, it was a costume that I had, and my sister was in the band for high school, and I remember, I had that costume. So then they would play the theme to Pink Panther, and so I prowled around amongst the band out on the field during the football season. I was cool like that.
Wait. You prowled around on the field during the season, not during the Halloween game. This now sounds like you just decided for all of fall to do Halloween and dress up.
I guess, yeah, because I was just that was, I guess, during all the field shows, that was my role.
I'm disappointed in both of you, actually. I'm a little taken aback by what I have just learned with my family here, that you two did not do not seem to have very good Halloweens. I see why we have not celebrated this month.
Maybe it's all coming together. There was one year when I was teaching that the students made me dress like Rick Ross.
Okay.
So I did have to do that one year and be in a pep rally one year as dressed as Rick Ross. So that was probably my crowning achievement.
Okay. All right. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I was proud of one in college, but it probably isn't appropriate, so I can't really discuss it. But it was cool.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like I'm pushing the limit on this, but can you at least explain what it was? Or were you?
I was dressed as a character, and
we good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just it was fine for most people, but
like a movie
insulted
character?
a few.
Bill,
so we need to let it go.
Bill.
Well, we're in the 6:04. This is the first segment because whatever you say, Game Clock Larry may top you.
Well, that's true. I'd love to hear what.
Because you're going to be kind of amazed by this. 1 year. This is younger. I dressed up as Richard Petty. Okay. But not just Richard Petty. A family member made kind of a cardboard-esque type car and put suspenders on it.
Yep, that's fun.
And it was cardboard, so it was light. But I would put it and hang it over my shoulders, and I was Richard Petty, cowboy hat, cowboy boots, jeans, button-down shirt.
But you were in a neighborhood where you could just go out of your house and walk around.
That is true. We were in a very good Halloween trick-or-treating neighborhood. We were in a very strong neighborhood. Families would get together and have Halloween parties, and really those parties I've been kind of blessed in that way that even when I had my kids and they were at a young age, our neighborhood was a lot of fun, and really you could kind of let the kids do their own at a decent age, not like, hey, 3 and 6, go out there and get them, kids, wander the neighborhood. But I did that 1 year. 1 year I was a zombie. that was kind of along the lines of a ninja. Not a whole lot required.
Yeah.
Like, let's see. I'm trying to think. One year now. My favorite is going back, not in the same kind of vein as maybe where you were going, but one year when I was just out of college, I believe there was a big party downtown, like at Liberty's or something, and I dressed up as like one of the coaches from Dazed and Confused. Have y'all seen Dazed and Confused?
I have not.
This is the point of the show where I become amazed y'all haven't seen Dazed and Confused, but I feel like you could do that for 50 movies with me and be like that. But the coach was like a 70s style PE coach, football coach. I had gone to Todd Moore and gotten some really short, like coaching shorts.
So basically, like the outfit that you wore when you were out here on the street dribbling a basketball, you were in a.
Yeah,
Huh.
but those were I had long pants. Those were I had the
They're not
90s.
long.
I had the 90s style basketball shorts on that day, Preston. Like that was more of the 90s style, like baggy.
Mhm.
They just ran, I think, of
So you saying you got those
The Richard
coach
Simmons
shorts,
shorts.
the shorts,
the coach shorts. Yeah,
old
the
plastic
coach.
one.
He
Yeah.
knows what I'm
Yeah.
talking about with the
I do.
coach shorts. I had just a white. I'd gone and bought a white collared shirt and put like a little pillow under it, so I had a gut. And then I had the aviator shades, and then I think I also really liked it because I put effort into it.
There you
Like
go.
there was
And that
there
makes
was
a
a
difference.
requirement. Like I just again went to I think it was TNT Sports and just bought a generic like red hat and just in white letter just across it said coach and had a whistle, little play sheet.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was I think because I put the effort
Yeah, of
into
course.
it.
Of course, the effort makes a difference.
'Cause I
It
think
does.
Effort makes a big difference. I did find myself on Amazon pricing a walking boot so I could be Shane Beamer, but
Oh,
nice.
but it wasn't gonna get here in time.
You know what? If you ever are looking for those types of things, maybe crutches, call me. Because I have neck braces and I have things for slings for shoulder surgery. So yeah, just call me if you need
yeah,
something.
I did glance at that, but it wasn't gonna get here in time, and so I didn't
That's
want to pull it
funny.
off. But anybody out there, it's still enough time for you. You go in that closet, find you a walking boot. You could be Shane Beamer today.
803-404-6100 will be a fun show. We'll cut up about Halloween costumes. If you have a favorite Halloween costume growing up or likely in college. Now, again, I've noticed on Facebook this past weekend and social media, I've noticed that a lot of people did their Halloween parties for some odd reason. Jessica Rabbit seemed to be very much back in style. Like the couples
A lot
doing
of Barbie.
couples doing the Jessica Rabbit and the Roger Rabbit.
That's odd.
Yeah, I didn't know where it came
That
from.
feels like the algorithm sent everybody there. It's like, oh, this is what you're gonna be this year.
Yeah, I
'Cause that's pretty. There doesn't seem like a renaissance of Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
No,
which
I would agree.
Yeah,
very,
I'm not
very
sure
bad.
where it just seemed. I saw that a good bit this year. There was a couple of those. So yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, send us in if there's one that you're just happy again, kind of like I had some really good ones growing up. My family got into Halloween. They party pretty much for anything, but Halloween was an exceptionally large chance to just take a night and make an effort out of it. So we were big Halloween family
See,
folk.
We had to be able, I did other things like, oh gosh, I think there was a Raggedy Ann or something one year. I mean, things like that. But you also had to think because we lived out on the farm. So then it's like we got to get in the car to go into town. And we kind of went to specific houses, like people were prepared for it, which meant you got cooler things. Like you got popcorn balls and you got like full size, candy bars and stuff like that. So we didn't just go up and down the streets like what the kids, do. So it was a little bit different for me. Like you had to make sure your costume could get in and out of a car, So that probably took some of the fun out of it.
That
Practical.
matters.
Practical.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I've got a picture here. A couple years ago with the kids, I dressed up as here. I'll have a picture for you two here in a second. This is my best. What is it? Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow. That's the kids and I. One is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and that was the daughter of JoJo Siwa.
nice.
And
Nice.
you see there me going with the pirate / Jack
Pretty
Sparrow.
This is a very solid costume build. The only thing is not enough eyeliner.
No, I actually had that for the party. This
Okay.
was for the
Yeah, all right,
yes.
that's-
There had
that's-
been a party.
That's a very key
a few
part of
nights. a few nights prior. I actually may have to see if I can find a picture of
You
that.
gotta have heavy eyeliner. If
I
you
believe
be
that one
Johnny
actually
Depp.
is on
Yes,
my
you
cell
do.
phone.
Yes, you do.
803-404-6100.
What a strange fellow.
We'll get into that a little bit. We will get into some stuff from South Carolina football as Shane Beamer will speak today. Coming up 1:30. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. You can hear it 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. We'll get that. Preston's got some grades to give out. J.C. Sherbert is set to join us today. And yes, we are going to discuss Dabo Swinney last night. Just as I like Steven weighing in on the live stream, says Happy Halloween. I'm dressing up as a Tyler, and he's not referring to Tyler Head. I am interested to hear who, once Preston hears this, who everyone thinks was more in the wrong. Like, should a fan in this day and age, and this is now taking a complete 180 from the fun discussion we were just having, what is a fan allowed to say to a coach, Preston? and B, should the call screener be fired for the Dabo Swinney call-in show?
Maybe I'm gonna maybe assume. Well, either they were in cahoots, or they pulled those switcheroo
Or were they
that some folks like to pull sometimes on the radio.
Were they in Dabo Swinney last night? If you haven't heard it, the audio is all over Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it. I'm interested to hear. I mean, there's part of me that's like, yeah, Dabo, stand up for yourself. There's part of me is like, yeah, you're a coach. I'm not sure you can go down that path. And then there's a part of me that's like, yeah, as a fan, the fan Tyler from Spartanburg was well over the line last night in addressing Dabo Swinney. But we will discuss. We will allow Preston to hear that and get Preston's take. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100. John from Somerville. Bill, you and I both know candy corn is garbage. Nope. I will stand by this. I will stand on that. Candy corn, very, very good. Richard weighing in this morning, Firehouse Sub-6 line. Happy Halloween to everyone. Second favorite holiday of the year. Today, I'm going to be a Notre Dame football player. Clemson fans should be scared to see me coming. Very good, Richard. Very good to start the morning.
Well, then I'm going to have to dislike you, because I actually did a little quiz with the kids last night. I sent them a text and something about how well do you know your mom? And it was actually funny because my son said, what things do you, or his response to the question of what thing do you hate? And he's like, tomatoes and Notre Dame. Like, okay.
There you go.
He knows
Okay,
me.
tomatoes and Notre Dame. Wow. Was this anonymous texter saying he and his significant other, or she, whomever, anonymous, we went as Rip and Beth from Yellowstone. It's pretty good. It's a good adult setup, I would imagine. Yeah, I imagine that's been pretty popular. So,
Okay.
803-404-6100. Again, how you can weigh in. We'll get Gamecock Larry's best costume, and I'm sure he's going to want to talk about Jacksonville State as well, or over under. Do you think he just skips past Jacksonville State, looks directly toward Vanderbilt?
Don't do it.
We'll do that when we come back. We'll get into some Shane Beamer stuff as well. And yeah, Preston's gonna have to listen. He's unaware of this Dabo Swinney stuff. He's gonna have to listen because I'm interested to hear his opinion and weigh in on this. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the Halloween edition of the Early Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game. Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 1075 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Hey, this is Jen with CHW Cabinetry, and the flood that we had on Christmas Eve, lots of damage to our house, had to gut the kitchen. That, I'll admit, was not very fun. So we ended up getting in touch with CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. They're a women-owned business, a locally owned business, and they were fantastic. They helped us put the kitchen back together, put all of the different accessories, helped us pick out, the colors and what exactly we wanted to do in there. And then they gave us that photorealistic rendering, and that helped show us exactly what the kitchen would look like. And that was super helpful because then we were able to find out what to use that to pick out all the other things that needed to be done in the kitchen to get it put back together. Installation was great, and we couldn't be more thrilled. If you need kitchen cabinets or any cabinets for your home, indoor or outside, chwcabinetry.com is where you go, or call them at 803-520-6837. Make sure to tell them that Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
There's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game this fall. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews,
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
and we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Gamecock fans, November is finally here, and the homestand at Williams-Brice that comes with it. At Gamecock Traditions, they're going to help you show your colors and paint the town garnet and black all month long. This week, car flags are buy one, get one free. New shipments of magnets, decals, and license tags have arrived and are ready to dress up your ride. Sweatshirts, jackets, gloves, and hats are also here to help you support the Gamecocks in style. Shop GamecockTraditions.com or go to 5134 Sunset Boulevard or to the Village at Sandhills. Gamecock Traditions, your Gamecock superstore.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Trust Zerust to get your ducks insanely clean. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 1075 The Game to get $50 off your next cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZerustColumbia.com. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And taking a peek at those traffic conditions out there, St. Andrews Road at I-26, and that might slow things down just a little bit. Aside from that, things moving fairly well this morning, and we hope it stays that way throughout your morning commute. As far as the weather is concerned, we're going to see a little difference in that forecast for sure. Looking for a high today of just 65, 54 tomorrow, 59 on Thursday. Could see a few light showers today, with the overnight low of 36.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 1075 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Get up, get your Halloween attire on, get out the house, go scare all your coworkers, send the kids off to school to have them bring you home a bunch of candy. It's a Halloween Tuesday morning. Going to be a little rainy later this afternoon, a little chilly. Probably tonight in the high 50s. Maybe ends up being a decent night on to go out and go trick or treating. But this morning, we will get to a lot. There's a lot Preston wants to get to. Got some grades we got to hand out. Talk a little bit about Shane Beamer, transfer portal Tuesday. Some odd stuff going on in Colorado, by the way, as well. But we start with last night, and we're going to make fun of Dabo Swinney. That's going to happen here. But I also think that there is a legitimate question of who was in the right and who was in the wrong last night on the Dabo Swinney call-in show, where he, to say went off, would be the understatement of the year, I believe, when Tyler from Spartanburg, I believe.
Tyler.
You heard that part, yep.
If our own gracious super producer, radio host Tyler Head doesn't cut that as an intro, I don't know what we're doing. That was gold. He has to have that.
I do legitimately wonder where you draw the line for a head coach and for a fan, because, Preston, I've said it for a long time, we really are, and we've been for a while. This didn't just occur this year or last year. We're in a new era of interaction as human beings. We had a president several years ago who, if you tweeted at, it was 50-50. He might tweet back at you. You've never had access to a president. I love Frank Martin. Don't get me wrong. Frank Martin was one of the few coaches you had complete access to. If you tweeted at Frank Martin, you were going to get tweeted back at.
Frank, like, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have that kind of interaction back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. You couldn't just reach out if you were unhappy with someone and let them know in a vulgar way, in an unprofessional way. You can do that on Twitter, X, whatever now. And like I said, we had a president, and we had a president of the country who may respond.
We had a president of the university.
True.
Who was responding.
Mm-hmm.
And family.
We had you have coaches. You have access to, I say, celebrities, but people like that you've never had via social media. And so where is the fine line between being a complete jerk and being a fan and saying, I'm going to ask the hard questions?
Yeah, so I think this is a good question, because I think what happens is we as people, and I'm including us in the greater we think that just because these people make a lot of money that they're not human beings. You see the same type of interactions that fans have with players on the field, or we take the over the line between cheering against and taunting, and you're acting as if just because you're over there and I'm over here and I make a lot of money and maybe you don't, or you do, which is another case, you act like we're above human interaction. Like, I kind of like Dabo being as if, hold on a second, sir, I'm not above being, let me get down on your level really quickly and express to you what I'm actually feeling. So I think people take that out of range just because they feel like these people make a lot of money, which they do. And for some instances, that probably should shield you from reacting to everything. But if you're face to face, I don't have a problem with you just having a normal human interaction with
Mm-hmm.
You listen to now. The other part is, we made fun of. Boy, did we make fun of, and we still make fun of Mike Gundy for going off on a reporter.
I'm
and yelling.
40.
Yeah, like
Oh,
that.
man.
That one, that's in the Hall of Fame of coaches losing their minds.
Absolutely.
But then that brings the question. So Dabo last night, 5 minute, 5 minute rant.
Well, we've always known Dabo, he's never been shy around a microphone.
Right.
So Dabo has he can go.
He went down the well too.
He went to all the tried and true classes. It sounded like it was a bit of his recruiting pitch, messing with his personal statement, with a testimony. He just went to all the classes and just put them all together. Solid performance by Dabo. I'm not gonna lie.
And I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know who's doing the call-in show with him. You got to catch the end. See, Preston couldn't even get to the end before we had to come back from break. But kudos to, I think it's Pete Hannity maybe, who just lets him go, just backs away from the mic and lets him go. But yeah, I do wonder again. Now you go, because
look, let's be honest. If Shane Beamer had done something like that, I mean, Shane's getting kind of crucified right now at times by the media for supposedly whining about things. Obviously, the kicking of a Gatorade bucket, and so there is decorum. Like, I think you do always kind of look at Nick Saban, and I'm not saying that Nick Saban is the bastion of, like, I've seen him get upset. He gets upset. He gets a little snarly with the media, but I've always felt like Nick Saban just keeps it semi-level-headed.
Also, on the Saban tip, Dabo threw in a bunch of "ites" like Saban. You know, when Saban gets going, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you what's going on." All right, Dabo had that going for him also, so I feel like he was learning from the master of how to start heating up. Hey man, Tyler, if you are a real person, I'm glad you got your moment. You probably should surface and make your face known. Let everybody know this is who
Good
you
point.
are,
Yeah.
who you're talking to. It is interesting, and this is the biggest point. This is the bigger point, and I wanted to get to this point, and I'm glad we're here. Anytime you hear all of these coaches talk about we don't listen to the noise, the outside noise doesn't bother you, that's not true. We've heard Kirby Smart respond to the outside noise. Shane Beamer's responded to the outside noise. Pat Narduzzi's responded to the outside noise. Everyone, Dan Lanning, every one of these coaches, Ryan Day, James Franklin, all these coaches talking about, we don't let the outside noise bother us. We're just focused on what's going on. Yeah, right. That's not true. All of y'all, every single one of y'all is on too much of the TV and too much of the Twitter because you're all very sensitive right now. Every single one.
Well, and again, it's different. It's different because, and I get part of it. I get part of it because I think as a human being and as a father or mother, if you're a women's head coach, your kids are subjected to criticism that probably 20, 30, 40 years ago. I mean, in all seriousness, can you imagine what it would have been like for, like, say, when Frank Beamer was really struggling at Virginia Tech, for Shane to go to school and, hear from, because back then I would assume second, third, fourth graders weren't like criticizing. I just remember it because of a situation that occurred specifically with Darren Horn, where his kids got brought into it a little bit, and it was a little unfair. Say what you want about Darren Horn.
Yeah, no, you don't involve the family. That's just.
Hold on a second. This is where I would take a little bit of a non-PC turn. Adults don't involve the kids. Kids on kids. I mean, listen. Everybody, you've been made fun of for your mama or your daddy or something like that.
Yeah.
If your mama comes to school with rollers in her hair and I make fun of you, or if your daddy's losing basketball games, I think it's fair.
Okay.
Just for kids on kids. Adults, stay out of it.
Yep.
But kids, I don't know.
We'll continue to get into that. We'll get into some Shane Beamer audio and also some grades.
This is great.
A+ rant.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and break it down. But Dabo gave a little bit of motivational speech, a little bit of the haters.
Pointed out his lifetime achievements,
laid
marriage,
it
kids.
out very clear for you of what he's done and how he plans to do it. Told you could take this job and shove it if you would like to the AD and the president. Dabo's frustrated. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
803-404-6100. Happy Halloween out there. You're listening to the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game. Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 1075 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Oh, it felt okay last night. It felt all right. But you know what? About the next 48 hours, actually maybe the next 72 hours, it's supposed to be pretty chilly. And I'm hoping for you've listened and that your heating unit has been inspected and it's ready to cut on tonight and keep you nice and warm, especially tomorrow morning. If not, well, there's still time. You need to call AAA Heating and Air this morning. You need to call them today, 803-677-1500. Right now, AAA Heating and Air offering complimentary heating unit checkups to senior citizens, 62 years of age and older. You can get a complimentary heating unit checkup. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. With colder weather coming, AAA Heating and Air wants to make sure that heating unit is working properly this winter and will keep you nice, warm, and cozy. So call 803-677-1500. Again, 803-677-1500. Tell them you heard it here with Bill Gunner on 107.5 The Game.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most, like dinner with loved ones, letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
This is Larry Lighton, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Don't miss Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's thrilling fall sale. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms cleaned for $129. Or schedule online, ZerustColumbia.com. Zerust, spell it backwards and forwards, is the right way to clean.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And we have just really one accident to let you know about. St. Andrews Road at I-26. The other that could slow you down a little bit, just a disabled vehicle, I-26 westbound there at Airport Boulevard. And the forecast is, Bill was mentioning, it's going to change. 65 will be our high today with some light showers, and then 54 tomorrow. That overnight low, though, dropping down to 30. And on Thursday, 59 with that overnight low of 32. So we'll still take what we have right now. It's kind of windy. And 59 on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And hear Gamecock Larry right now. I don't care about no Dabo. I don't care about those costumes. Get to me.
.36 on a Tuesday morning, a Halloween edition of a Tuesday morning where we have already talked about costumes, your favorite costume growing up, as well as Dabo Swinney. We're not going to play the audio because I'm not sure of copyright laws, other stations. You can go find it. It's all over the internet this morning. You can go and find it yourself, and you can weigh in this morning with your take on it. A couple of y'all doing that, the co-pilot saying Dabo's rant was all set up to motivate the fans for the Notre Dame game. We'll find out later.
Oh, conspiracy theories. Okay.
There's a lot after that
I'm
one
here for that.
Dabo rant post-practice where it turns out he had asked the reporter to set him up. Yeah, there's some legs to that. Some legs.
I hadn't considered that.
Some of you are dressing up as spiders with multiple legs today. You could be that, Tyler. But yeah, the co-pilot says, we'll find out later. Tyler was sent down to get Notre Dame signals. Tyler was also here to help Clemson fans get motivated to bet Notre Dame. So, yeah, there you go. We'll see. We'll see if that comes through.
Tyler.
A couple of y'all weighing in says, I was about to text. At least we ain't Tyler. They got lambasted by Dabo on the call-in show last night. If you haven't heard it, it's worth it. And then you can offer your own opinion. The serious opinion is, what is a fan's right to say personally to a coach, either via the call-in show or via Twitter or X or whatever. I mean, it's different if you want to call in here and express your opinion. I understand it. It's not like you're talking directly to the coach. But what is you don't run into a coach in a grocery store and just start letting them know how you feel, right?
Yeah, because there's a certain amount of decorum and civility, as if we all live, especially when you think about a community like Clemson. And this is one thing I always give props to Dabo. His children go to Daniel High School. He's in and of the community. There's other people doing other jobs in the community that if you saw them, you're not just going to walk up to them and express your opinion to them, because everybody has to live. So yeah, I do agree with that. Like let them live.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you on that, because okay, so say that something bad happened, on the show. Well, if you see Bill in the store later, you're not gonna be like, Bill, man, you were such a moron for what you did, or like that's a workplace thing.
Yeah,
And
please
just like,
remember that. I'd prefer that not happen more than 7 times a year.
yeah, well, I'm trying to help you out here, but I still think that you're right. They still need to be able to live and escape their job. And I know that they're public figures, and some people think, well, they're public figures, so you should have access to them all the time. Well, no, that right hasn't been granted.
To bring up Frank Martin, I used to see Frank in Publix once a month, and Frank is such an imposing, hulking figure. You see him over there by like the baked goods, looking at stuff, and it's like, I just give him a salute. How you doing? I recognize you. I know who you are. I know who you are. But that's all we need to do. We don't need to do anything more than that.
No, because you know what, Dabo or Frank isn't seeing what you're doing on your job, and and harassing you. Like, that's why sometimes when people call and say, "Hey, you sounded really stupid," what you said. Okay, it was a mistake, but I'm not sitting at your desk going, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, Tyler. What are you doing today, Tyler? What's your job?
The other part of this is honestly like, what is the decorum of a coach?
Yeah,
like I don't know. It's different. Things are different in 2023 than they were, say, in 2000, or definitely, obviously, in the 90s.
I left out Dave Dorn.
Yeah,
telling Steve Smith to where he could politely kiss on a broadcast on the CW. By the way,
it's coaches going wild out there. I mean, like you said, we've seen Ryan Day out there calling people out. Yeah, Pat Narduzzi's having a time, and it's a high pressure job.
It is.
It's a high pressure job. Sometimes you're going to go off on Tyler from Spartan. Sometimes you're going to kick a Gatorade bottle. The Gatorade.
There's a lot of emotion and a lot of pressure.
My only rebuttal to that is, for all of these coaches, is that yes, it is a high pressure job, but you took the job. And also, Dabo, if you was just coaching at Daniel High School in Clemson and you lost those games, you'd be under the same amount of pressure. Like you don't think that these high school coaches going into playoff time, if you walk around Fairfield Central and you lose 4 games in a season, you don't think the people out in Winsboro are looking at you sideways? Shout out to Demetrius. That's it's a visible profession. Sometimes you're gonna have to meet people in the grocery store. You might have to listen to a bunch of toddlers. I don't know how it happens.
803-404-6100. It's a man who's wise beyond his, who probably has had about 84 great Halloween costumes. Maybe 1 through 5 he struggled a little bit. I don't know. Maybe there was a 5-year stretch. Gamecock Larry, best Halloween costume you ever dressed up in?
I have never had a Halloween costume. We couldn't get one. I couldn't afford one. I have never had one.
I feel bad.
Okay, well, there you have it. We was old poor boys down there on the sharecroppers farm. But I got a few things I want to say. Now, you done talk 45 minutes, so give me a few minutes. It's a good thing I got it written down because you done messed
all right,
me
hey,
all
real quick,
up.
I just got to tell you, so no one thinks, we got about 4 minutes because I have a hard break that will cut you off. It won't be me, but you got 4 minutes. Go.
Okay, Root Hog, answer your phone. BC 28, Gilbert 21. I talked to CW and Jimmy at Carcado Car Care just a few minutes ago. They called me early. They got the big motor ready. They got it tuned up. And they got it ready for the big one. And we're going to go out there with Gamecock Dragster team, and we're going to bring it all home. Now, let's see. Dabo, wake up and shine. Clemson fans is on the line. Now, another thing about this football team, Gamecocks, we got to do something about them injuries. First, we had it in baseball. Now we got it in football. And I don't think they'll have much to do with the basketball team. But I'm telling you, something's wrong in that. What do you call that? What when they get them ready? What do you call that?
Preseason?
No.
Weightlifting?
Wait, no, what they do?
Strength
You
and
know what
conditioning?
they call it? Yes, sir.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
Something got to be done about that because, ain't no sense in it. I guarantee we had 30-something hamstring injuries or whatever you call it. There's somebody in the strength and conditioning ain't stretching them right, but we'll be all right. And whatever I got to say, I done forgotten. Let's see, you done got me so mixed up. Well, I tell you, you done been talking about this and that.
What's your take on candy corn?
Candy corn. I'll tell you what, I love candy corn. In fact, I got a cup sitting by my bed. Well, not a cup, I got a Ziploc bag sitting by my bed to keep candy corn in, to keep my sugar jacked up.
We really are.
If I wake up,
you and I really are just relatives.
If I wake up and feel my sugar kind of low, I reach over and grab a cup of candy corn. It's good. That's about all I got to say, but I'm telling you, we're ready to go. We're going to win the next 4. When that last game of the season, this is like the old timers when both of them wasn't too good. But I tell you what, they're trying to run Dabo out of Clemson. Well, Dabo already got his reservation in Alabama. He ain't worried about them Clemson fans. But right now,
all right, I hate to cut you. We got to a hard break. We love you. Happy Halloween. We'll be back.
Love you, but go Gamecocks.
There you go.
What's coming up on the game? Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Former Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth. Start taking control of your financial future at empower.com. Detroit's victory over Las Vegas last night wasn't as close as the 26-14 result might suggest. Rookie Jahmyr Gibbs had his coming out party with 189 total scrimmage yards, and Detroit's defense, all they did was sack Jimmy Garoppolo 6 times. I'm Boomer Esiason.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Moisture and high humidity in your crawl space create an environment for mold and mildew and affect the air you breathe inside your home. Call Canty for a free inspection today at 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
The 40th running of the Breeders' Cup World Championships is finally here. It's the ultimate racing showdown that every owner, trainer, jockey around the globe has their sights set on. With $31 million in purses and awards, there's a lot at stake, but only the best will claim the coveted title of world champion. Coverage begins Friday, November 3rd on USA, continues Saturday, November 4th on USA and NBC. And you can always visit breederscup.com, breederscup.com to learn more. If you like using debit over credit, don't you think it's time you also got rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cashback on everyday purchases. Plus, you're not charged any account fees, period. Whether you're moving, starting a new job, or headed into that next stage of your life, whatever it is, Discover Cashback Debit is for everyone. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Eight 803-404-6100 is how you can join us if you want to do so this morning. Sports Zone last night, Preston, Detroit, the Lions, 26-14 victory over Las Vegas in Monday Night Football in the World Series. I'm if it wasn't for Jordan Montgomery and Christian Walker, I'd have zero interest in this thing. And I'll be honest, I have watched it about like that with zero interest. The last night Rangers go on the road and knock off the Diamondbacks 3-1. So the Rangers take a 2-1 lead. Christian Walker last night 1 for 4 and also had a strikeout in that contest. I like the World Series
I really do. I try to get into it most years. It was a lot of fun a couple years ago when Jen's Cubs were in it, when the Braves won it. It was a lot of fun. This one is very hard to get into. And again, I tend to try and like the World Series. I also think there's an element, no World Series game. This would be one of my, we might have to do this next summer or something. Your top sports laws, right? Top sports mandated laws. And one of mine would definitely be no World Series game should ever be played in an indoor stadium.
Fair. I like that.
There's something, I guess, maybe just because of being in college growing up, and I am a Yankees fan, but just seeing it be colder and people bundled up, and that's just, there's an element like when it was Cleveland and the Cubs. I mean, it doesn't need, I don't need it snowing, but I need
you need them to be wearing sleeves.
I need them to be wearing sleeves. I need the guys who are on the bench to be making an effort to stay warm.
Yeah.
The manager to have the thick jacket on. I don't even know if the roof was open last night in Arizona. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, that would be like a sports mandate. Is you have to, if it's Arizona and Texas, you have to play it up north a little bit, get it colder.
Okay.
But that was last night. Also, just real quick, we won't spend a lot of time boring y'all with this, but there was a huge NBA trade last night, essentially, or sometime around midnight. James Harden.
Oh boy.
Like, is James Harden? I'm the other question I would have here is he? How do you word this? I'm just going to go. I'm going to misword it, and then you can correct me. Is he the biggest problem on a team in sports right now? Is there another player in sports that is more of a cancer to their locker room than James Harden?
I haven't found it yet. I don't know. That's a great question. We can go on a search, but James has effectively detonated himself on several squads. I mean, whether you're talking about the Nets, Houston when he was there. I wonder where the guy from OKC was. I don't know, because he seemed like he was content with his role coming off the bench, and he was a very excellent player. Got to Houston, got a lot of money, which everybody thought, why are they giving James Harden so much money? Turns out he was really good, and he was going to play basketball, change the way basketball was played for the worst, I would say. And now that I'm thinking about it, that locker room with Kyrie Irving and James Harden in the same locker room, they were only there for a couple of weeks together. But in Brooklyn, man, that must have been, I'm sure there's some stories coming out of that.
Yeah, that couldn't have been fun for the rest of the teammates.
Nobody else on the team was happy with that at all. This guy, he intentionally comes to camp out of shape. We had this whole, he did tell you that. He said he would never play for this guy again. He did say that. I don't know how, as if you're the Clippers, you're like, we're not trading.
Clippers didn't give up a whole lot to get him, by the way. That
should show you what's going on.
That's the side. Like, the Clippers are basically giving up just players, just Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, KJ Martin, and a 2028 unprotected first round pick. They gave up some other picks as well, but yeah, it's. I mean, they basically gave up just a collection of players. Nobody that Philadelphia is going to guide. It's interesting, and I bring it up just because, again,
James Harden is the person that everybody thinks when they're talking about the entitled NBA player or something. That's James Harden. The rest of the league is full of a bunch of dudes who are playing hard, working hard, doing great things off the court. But if you ever want to point to the problem, it would be James Harden.
Yeah, he's an issue, but he gets traded sometime around midnight, 1 a.m. He will head off to the Clippers and go out there. Now, that'll be kind of good because we won't have to follow him all that much if you're into it.
Exactly.
Also, just of note today, NFL trade deadline. Some discussions about certain players, whether it comes to fruition or not. Derrick Henry is the one I saw the most of on Sunday.
Saw a little talk about Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah, everybody wants him. We'll get into that. J.C. Sherbert set to join us. We still got grades to get to. There's a whole bunch.
J.C., prepare yourself. We're on one today.
Hour or two of the way.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
KFC's new hot and spicy wings for $4.99. 8 wings prepped in spicy marinade for a delicious balance of heat and flavor. Get yours for just $4.99, only at KFC. That's finger licking good.
Hello and welcome to the Kroger Show. At Kroger, everyone wins when it comes to saving big. Because when you order online through the Kroger app, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery that you do in-store with no hidden fees or markups. So no matter how you shop, you'll always save big at Kroger. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties are just $3.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Trust, we want trust. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet, or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile. For whatever you may want, in most any kind of sport, Todd and More is where it begins.
Todd & More has been your hometown sports store since 1944. That's right. The Midlands has depended on Todd & More for all kinds of sporting goods, equipment, apparel, and accessories for 79 years. They have what you want at the best price and the best selection to boot. They have the biggest and best tennis department and everything you need for pickleball, too. You will not find a better selection of Gamecock apparel and accessories than you can get at Todd & More. Let Todd & More be your store for equipment, apparel, shoes, and accessories. Open 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday at 620 Hugie Street near Blossom, just below the Coliseum. On-campus shopping is so convenient. No one can beat Todd & More.
Equipment for your sport, from the diamond to the court, Todd & More is where it begins. If you can swing it, throw it, hit it, bounce it, bring it, roll it, kick it.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews,
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
and we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help, 1-800-222-1222.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And taking a peek at those traffic conditions out there. Highway 1 at I-20, an accident. Also, St. Andrews Road at I-26. They're working on getting that cleared up. We've got a cold front coming in and a little bit windy already. Some showers possible today. 65 will be our high. And then tomorrow, 54 under sunny skies with that overnight low of 30. 59 on Thursday, overnight low of 32. Right now, though, windy and 59.
FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Josh Simon, your South Carolina Gamecocks tight end. You are now listening to 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
The nom de plume.
So nice.
I know
done,
he is. Preston is crushing it this morning with.
He's showing what 4 years of education can do, and then you're showing what 7 years of education can do.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Reminder, tomorrow night at Colonial Life Arena, you can get your first look at the second edition of the Lamont Paris era. 7 p.m. You can get on out to Colonial Life Arena. General admission tickets are $10, and all proceeds go to the Maui Strong Fund. It'll be the South Carolina basketball team taking on Wofford tomorrow night, Colonial Life Arena. You can buy tickets at the window when you walk up, or you can buy in advance, but it's $10 general admission, all proceeds going to the Maui Strong Fund. So you can come on out, check out South Carolina, year 2 under Lamont Paris. Season set to get underway a week from today. Preston Thorne, USC Upstate will roll in. So we'll have some basketball to talk about as well. Again, as Lamont Paris gets season 2 going officially next Tuesday. But tomorrow night, if you want to go see what they look like, go see some, I guess you would say it's an exhibition game, but you'll get to see a better feel for what this team is capable of doing. Tomorrow night, get on out. Colonial Life Arena, 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6. You can go over to Colonial Life Arena. Again, $10 general admission tickets. All proceeds going to the Maui Strong Fund to help with the wildfires out there. We may have Lamont Paris joining us tomorrow morning in studio from 8 to 9, not just to talk basketball, but we want to dig into who Lamont Paris is.
Yeah, I don't plan on talking any basketball. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure he could tell me about a down screen and a back cut, but
No, we have to get just a little bit of his team and his feelings, but a lot of it's going to be the candy corn, what his favorite.
we need to find
cousin-
out who this guy is.
Yeah, we've got to get more on Lamont Paris. So we're hoping to have him in studio tomorrow morning and again tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock over at Colonial Life Arena. You can get out. Doors open at 6. General admission tickets, $10. All proceeds go to the Maui Strong Fund. It'll be South Carolina and Wofford in a charity exhibition game. So we'll keep you updated on that as we roll along both this morning and tomorrow morning. But joining us now, as he does each and every Tuesday, JC Sherbert of thebigspur.com and Carolina Rise. And all right, JC, we got to lead with this. You're a guy. You're a fun guy. You're a guy that we have faith here, I believe, that's going to come through with a proper answer and not kind of be Debbie Downer like Gamecock Larry was. I asked Gamecock Larry about his favorite Halloween costume. He went into a story about how they didn't have the money for Halloween costumes. I know you're a fun guy. What has been the J.C. Sherbert favorite Halloween costume growing up?
Growing up, one year I was an aardvark. My mom made me an aardvark costume, and it was awesome because my grandmother at the time, I guess we were about the same size. I was like 8, 9, 10. Grandmother at the time worked for Belk's, and they had a promotion, and she borrowed the aardvark costume and walked around Westgate Mall handing out candy in the same costume. So that was cool. I was Sylvester the Putty Cat when I was like 3 or 4. There's a picture of me with my little pumpkin. As an adult, it has to be Fat Elvis.
Fat Elvis. Strong.
I would go as Fat Elvis every year if I could. And it was interesting because I worked at the radio station up in Greenville, the ESPN Upstate at the time, and we had the Christmas party, the station Christmas party. And then we had a remote the next day, so I didn't want to do the same costume. So I was a pimp at the Christmas party, and then I was Fat Elvis at the remote, and I just always like to bring that Fat Elvis. I still got the costume. I don't even know if I can fit in it now, which is sad. But it's a labor of love, that Fat Elvis costume.
We got big plans for tonight. Will there be any Christmas Halloween parties tonight? And
yeah, tonight's my normal bingo night, and I normally go out Tuesday night, but I think we're just going to stay home. I think it's we're planning a wedding right now. The kids will come by and want candy. I mean, we may just sit at home, but I do have a costume, so I will be wearing that on Inside the Gamecocks, the show today.
Excellent. All right, and then that would bring us to question number 2. Larry does ask on our live stream, what is the take on candy corn? Where do you fall on the candy corn discussion?
I'm a no on candy corn. I'm just like, I've never liked it. I'm not saying that when I was a kid, I shied away from it or anything, but as I've gotten older, you know, there's definitely better quality candies that I prefer. I mean, I'm not a big candy person either, but you know, sometimes the little Almond Joys or the Nestle Crunch, you know, I can get behind that. But I'm a no on the candy corn.
Most people don't understand the simple pleasure of an Almond Joy. Most people don't understand that. So, JC, that's why we respect your opinion so much here. So we appreciate your contributions.
It's an extremely, extremely important part of the candy family.
Yeah, and you know, not many people. You know, some people are nut people. You know, but then you can also enjoy a delicious mound if you don't like the nut.
Yeah, I'm not
because
I
Almond Joy.
Yeah.
Remember the commercial? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I'm with that. The mounds I just can't get into. It's gotta have that little almond in there.
Yeah,
delicious. It's like a little treat. That's in the middle. You get
Protein
little
balance
coconut.
off
Yeah.
carbs.
Oh, my precious little treat. Oh.
Real quick
Tommy boy.
before we very good. Before we move back into actual sports discussion, because Troy has asked this twice on our live stream. I'll start with Jen. Jen, where do you stand on butterscotch?
Yum.
All right, we got a yum. Preston, butterscotch.
Church.
Yes, actually.
Grandma.
Yes, grandma and church
Yep.
would be the proper term. JC, butterscotch.
All for butterscotch, man. Like, you know, you used to get the dum-dums at the doctor's office or whatever, the little suckers. It was a good day if I got butterscotch.
There you go. So there you go. We've got all that taken care of. Your candy and your costumes. The best sports talk radio you've ever had right here in this town, covering those two things. 803-404-6100. All right, let's go to the other thing that occurred besides costumes and Halloween parties and candy.
If we must.
Yeah. Just, JC, things were better. Things were somewhat better this weekend, but obviously mistakes again doomed South Carolina and College Station.
I thought you were going to talk about Dabo's rant.
Oh, we're getting to that. We're not done with that just yet.
I was going to say, I'm going, Halloween costume. I'm going as Tyler from Spartanburg. I'm just kidding. I don't claim Tyler, by the way. I got some opinions on that. But anyway, yeah, you know, there were some. I appreciate any coach that when something's not working, they kind of decide to do something different. And Clayton White did. And by God, whatever that defense was they were running early gave A&M all kinds of trouble. They weren't ready for it. A&M adjusted, and you know, the Carolina came back, adjusted the second half. Same old with the defense. You know, playing well enough to win in the second half, but you know, the margin was just too far. You know, I don't know either guys that, you know, you can hang the deficit completely on the D. I mean, field position was great for A&M on those touchdown drives. I think a 55 and a 48-yard drive, and then Anaya Smith. I mean, that last touchdown was what I call a recruiting touchdown. That's a guy that's a special player, making a special play. And kind of like Juice Wells has done around here for South Carolina. So that kind of shows you when you're talking about winning and losing, injuries matter because you don't have that guy, you know, right now if you're South Carolina. That, yeah, you can throw it up to him. He looks boxed in. He makes a couple people miss. He houses it. You know, I thought in the second half, Carolina certainly fought their butts off. You know, I don't know that Spencer played his best game, but you know, Spencer's not always going to play, you know, out of his mind. I mean, it's unrealistic to think that, especially against a defensive front like that. I thought Mario Anderson is really coming into his own at running back. I think they found something there. But, you know, man, Xavier Legette obviously wasn't himself. When your leading receiver is Nick Harbor, and I think that is a bright spot that he's really starting to come on, especially, you know, I like it because, Bill, with Harbor, first things first when you're playing receiver, catch the ball, right? And he did have the drop, but I think we all sort of expected him to have more than one this year. And he's only got one. And he's made some tough catches. So I appreciate the fact, you know, step by step as he learns how to become a receiver in this league, he's taking care of the most important thing first. You know, and those guys that build that foundation like that, you know, then when it starts to get more comfortable, you're going to start seeing the athleticism and seeing the after the catch playmaking ability and seeing the speed and all that come out. So that's exciting. that's a positive to take away. Other than that, secondary was leaky again. A&M ran it pretty well for the most part. I do think getting the pressure, especially in the first half, was a positive thing. And, I don't know that any of us really expected Carolina to go out there and win, given the patchwork situation up front. And lo and behold, another offensive lineman gets hurt. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Now it's Trey Jones. I don't know how you can win that way. But that said, South Carolina's still got an opportunity. And I'm telling everybody this, we've been around Carolina football for forever. I can't remember a schedule where, and I guess we should have thought about it more in the offseason, talked about it more, because I think most people thought they'd beat North Carolina and Florida, and so it doesn't look as weird. The 2-6 looks weird. I can't remember a year going into November where South Carolina's only played 3 home games and only 2 SEC home games. I don't recall a year like that. So you got 4 at home. None of these teams coming in are world beaters. Carolina matches up much better with these guys than they do maybe A&M and Missouri this year, and Tennessee and Georgia. Not going to say Florida, obviously, but it's an opportunity. I don't think anybody, if you can get to 6-6 and get to a bowl and beat Clemson for a second straight year, I don't think anybody's sad about this season. I think it's just one of those years you chalk up to injury and stuff, and you really kind of look at it and go, well, hey, they're still making progress and heading in the right direction. So I think the focus has to be on that. It has to be on Jacksonville State. Take it one game at a time and understand that because of the unique way the schedule is this year, it's not over. There's an opportunity. These 4 games have been at the beginning of the year, and nobody's talking about all that. So, that's how it is this season. So, I'm still, I don't want to call anything a bandwagon, but I still think this team can have a decent season, all things considered.
803-404-6100. Yes, we will get into that Dabo Swinney rant. Preston just heard it this morning, so I'll let you give a take. Preston will give his take again. We'll go back down that path because it was something last night. I'm interested to hear what you got to say. We'll get into a few other things as well. Alan, no fun Alan, not pleased with us. Wants us to talk strictly sports. So you know what, JC, we may ask you about the James Harden trade as well. Prepare accordingly. You're listening to Bill Gunner.
Oh, God.
Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, JC Sherbert, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game.
The Shane Beamer Weekly Presser, sponsored by Pete Ale Wine Pools and Spas. Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Probably some big Halloween parties lined up tonight. Maybe you've got people coming over. Maybe you've just got yourself and the family, whatever it may be. After trick-or-treating, you're going to probably want the house nice and clean. Got to get ready for Thanksgiving. And you know what? Zerorez, with their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep the carpets, rugs, towel, upholstery all insanely clean, and do it without leaving behind a sticky, soapy residue. Contact them today and take advantage the last day of the October sale. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. That's right, 803-262-4020. Or you can schedule with ease online, zeroescolumbia.com. Again, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. 803-262-4020. Or again, zeroescolumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, is the right way to clean.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Jay Phillips here with Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. The real estate market is heating up, and if you're building or buying a new home, you need to call 107.5 The Game's longtime mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. If you ever needed a guru that's in this market, First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated in the Midlands with local decision makers. Processing and underwriting are made easy. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call at 803-719-1005 or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
With football in the air, we know fall is here, and people will be moving. Here at First Palmetto Bank, we have products that help homebuyers keep payments down, also asked me about our refinance options that require zero money out of pocket. Finally, if you're considering building or renovating a home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. If I can help you, give me a call today, 803-719-1005.
You're making mortgages easy, doing refinancing with no money out of pocket and helping build and renovate. If you're moving, make Jacob Crowder your first call, 803-719-1005.
Thanks, 1075 listeners. You can also email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com. My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender.
If you have tax problems and want to end the frustration of dealing with the IRS, grab a pen and take down this number. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm, located right here in the Midlands. Let us show you what it takes to solve your tax problems once and for all. The first step, which can be one of the hardest, is to take action. Do something. Call me, set an appointment, and meet with me in person. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll show you how to take control of the problem. So if you haven't filed your tax returns for years or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Learn what it takes to solve your tax problems for good. Take that first step to a better future. Call me, John Ecton.
This is Larry Lightner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
I-20 westbound at Broad River Road. There's an accident there. To be careful. And also you find one Highway 1 at I-20. And that forecast for today, it's going to be in the 50s when you're probably out trick-or-treating, mid-50s. And really the rain chances will have lessened by then. Looking for some rain, maybe middle part of the day. Overall, though, looking for high today of 65. 54 tomorrow with that overnight low of 30. And 59 for Thursday, overnight low of 32. Breezy and 58 right now.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$7:19 on a Halloween edition of the early in costumes, candy, and angry rants by a coach dressing up as a pumpkin in orange. Preston just heard it this morning. Dabo Sweeney last night responding to Tyler in Spartanburg, and oh yeah, it's funny, and we're going to make fun of it. There is a serious element to it, JC, that we talked about what a fan's interaction should be with a coach. Like, are you allowed to just say whatever is on your mind? Now, the call screener, I guess if you slip through, if you call in and you just flat lie and say, yeah, I want to talk about how great
Cade Klubnik's playing this season, only to get on air and then question why Clemson is paying Dabo Swinney roughly $11 million to be 4-4. All right, you pulled a fast one over the call screener. But let me start with the serious part before we let you and Preston get into this. Like, JC, you've been around a lot of coaches. What is the decorum of a fan in phone call or personal interaction with a head coach?
I don't like it. I mean, I it makes me sick to my stomach, to be honest. And I've been pretty consistent with this. I guess, gosh, did they get Beamer or Muskamp with the ski mask thing at Carolina a couple of years ago? I think it's a punk move. I think it's inappropriate. Some people may find it funny, and that's fine. I mean, I get it. And I'm, from a Gamecock perspective, obviously any kind of negativity to have as a Clemson, it's a rivalry, so I don't expect Gamecock fans to have any empathy for Dabo Swinney. In general, though, I think our society, and you see this on Twitter and you see it elsewhere. I'm lucky I've been involved with message boards for about 18 years now, so I'm kind of used to it. But it's a punk move. I mean, to call up and attack a man's salary. I mean, how long have you been a Clemson fan? I think Dabo asked him that. I mean, do you not know his story? The guy grew up with nothing. He's worked for everything he's got. Dabo's not a guy that, cut corners and was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple or anything like that. I mean, take the orange and garnet it out of it. And you've got somebody that's not got anything better to do but to attack a person that's had success and kick them when they're down. Now, it's hard for me. Now, on the flip side, it's hard for me to really feel drowned in my tears for anyone making $11.5 million a year. I mean, that's a different side of it. But I just don't like. I just don't think that's the way to handle anything because, I mean, it could be you, Tyler. One day, somebody just wants to call and take a shot when things don't go well. Nothing's perfect all the time. I mean, this guy's won 2 national championships up there and had, one of the best programs in the country. And last time I checked, they went through about 3 coaches since Danny Ford, that did not do what Dabo's done. And so I didn't like it at all. I don't like when things like that happen. I don't like it when people call coaches shows. I mean, I'm honest to God, wish they'd just do away with the callers. If society can act more mature and be a little bit more professional and tactful about it, why would you subject your coach to something like that? And I think all coaches would probably agree with that. I mean, these calling shows and this interaction and things like that, that's a service to the fans. I mean, I assure you, no coaches enjoy doing it. And it's to just give you a chance to call and talk to the coach. And you want to sit there and start a crusade. I can assure you there are enough Clemson people that, want some changes up there, whether Dabo's involved or not, to where change is coming. But this little, rebellion that you want to start, a rebellion started by insignificant people, doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help at Carolina. It doesn't help at Clemson. It doesn't help at any program. And that's toxic. And I think that in college football in general, we're getting to the point where the toxicity is probably going to drive a lot of good coaches out of the business, along with everything else that's going on. So I didn't like it. Now, is it funny from a Gamecock perspective? Absolutely. It's a rivalry. So I'm not browbeating anybody that's laughing. I'm just saying in general, things like that just get on my nerves. I mean, because I think it's like, what's the point? You got your 10 minutes of fame, whatever. So that's my take on it from the serious standpoint.
All right. But on the flip side of that, when a coach gets asked that, what should be the decorum of the head coach? Is it okay? I think there's a level, because I think sometimes we deal with it on this. JC, you're in media. You've been around message boards, radio shows. That when somebody wants to throw a punch in this situation, you don't hold back. You stand up for yourself. Easiest thing in the world is probably just to say, ha, 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 and move on to the next phone call. But in that situation, Dabo
again, we can make fun of it all we want, but he stood out for himself. Is that the right thing for a head football coach of a big-time program?
Yeah, I don't know. Most people that you talk to, I bet administrators would tell you that. Just call him a clown and move on, or just ignore it. Because you don't want – and I'm going to say this, too, about the media. I'm disappointed in the laziness that some outlets have decided to do. Not in our state necessarily, but, so I guess, gosh, it was the writer for the State tweeted part of his comments, right? And so then Saturday Down South, instead of going back and listening to the audio and giving a full picture, because I listened to the whole thing, and there's a lot of context there that's just missing in a tweet that selectively quotes him. But Saturday Down South, people like that, they jumped on it and just put the tweeted quote. That's lazy, man. That's lazy, and it doesn't serve your readers, and it's clickbait. I mean, people love to throw the term clickbait around a lot. That's that's by definition clickbait. Because if you listen to the whole thing, there's a lot more context to it, and a lot. And I think his answer was probably the same answer I would have given if I were Dabo Swinney. It wasn't that he just teed off on the guy. He went through a long explanation about, every coach has bad years. It's a bad year. We admit it. We get it. But here's what I've done, and you need to be a little more respectful, and all that. So I think in that situation, Dabo handled it. I think the book would say ignore it, move on. But sometimes today, if you're the big dog, you got all these little dogs yapping at you. Sometimes it's good to just turn around and bark and snap at them. So maybe they back down a little bit. You have some dignity, and you're not just a punching bag to punks who can anonymously call in. I mean, I doubt that guy's name's even Tyler. Anonymously call in and take unnecessary shots at you personally, because when you get into a salary, that's personal. That's personal. And I would highly doubt that whoever Tyler from Spartanburg is gives a penny towards Dabo's salary, and that's really none of his damn business. So that's my take on that.
I want to get in because I think this is interesting. Richard weighs in with a text. Rodney weighs in with a text. A couple people going back and forth. I think this is really interesting as to, again, what a fan, as JC just said, the decorum is it's okay to say. Because there's people who are weighing in saying, hey, I pay my money. I pay my money to see a quality product. I should be able to say what I want. I'm going to read these texts to y'all and get both of your takes. Former player Preston Thorne, JC Sherbert. We'll kind of see where we go, because it is an interesting conversation in that manner. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
The game will be at the beach, in the PD, and the Midlands. That almost covers the whole Palmetto State. In Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Halloween can be a scary time. Spooky prices if you're looking for a brand new car, truck, or SUV. Horrifying lack of ability to find what you're looking for. All of it can lead to an ugly time, except if you're going to Love Chevrolet. That's right. Nothing scary, nothing spooky, nothing horrifying when you visit Love Chevrolet. Only complete honesty, the best deals available, and the largest selection to you and your family. So go visit Love Chevrolet. If you're in the market for a new car, truck, or SUV, maybe you're looking for a certified pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, make sure you go check out, again, Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, with the $1,000 low price guarantee, where you can shop other dealerships, take it back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they'll top it. Of course, you're going to get the largest selection with 14 acres of brand new Chevys and an incredible sales staff. Love Chevrolet has been servicing the Midlands for 60 years and continue to do so. Get out to Love Chevrolet today and find new roads.
Welcome to BreezeLine, where next level internet speeds means next level productivity. Choose BreezeLine and go boss mode with next level internet and faster speeds backed by a fiber powered network. Terms and conditions apply. Go to breezeline.com to learn more.
At Kroger, we know the minute a tomato is picked, the fresh timer starts. The sooner we get our produce to you, the fresher it is. That's why we've shortened the time from harvest to home for our tasty tomatoes, strawberries, and salads. So no matter how you shop, you have more time with your fresh produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Kroger 80% lean ground beef is on sale. 16-ounce packages are just $3.99 with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, this is Kyle. This weight loss program sure has been great to me. I've lost 93 pounds in just 4 months, only 20 pounds away from my goal weight. It has surely changed my life.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
The Gamecock women's basketball season is almost here, and we're celebrating head coach Don Staley's 16th season in Columbia with the 16 for 16 season ticket campaign. Help us reach 16,000 season tickets for the upcoming season and continue to be the national attendance leader. Home games include matchups against Maryland, Clemson, UConn, and Tennessee. Season tickets are only $55. Visit thegamecockclub.com today to learn more and to secure your tickets.
For the second year in a row, U.S. News & World Report has named Lexington Medical Center the best hospital in the Columbia metro region. We're proud to be the #1 hospital in the Midlands and the #2 hospital in the state. We're giving our best to care for you.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
Too much time is spent discussing talent's age. The younger demo is just as excited about a Paul Heyman or a John Cena or an Undertaker or Becky Lynch, or I don't care what their birth certificate says, they're going to draw a younger demo because they're fun to watch and they're great entertainers.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game. 107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
I-26 westbound right there at Valentine, the exit 101. That's it. I-26 westbound at Valentine exit. Accident there. Also, I-26 eastbound at Sunset Boulevard exit 110. Also, you'll find I-20 westbound at Broad River Road. And Highway 1 at I-20, working on that earlier tie-up. 65 for the high today. A few light showers. Definitely not going to rain out trick-or-treating. And getting cooler. 36 for the overnight low. Right now, it's 58.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This is interesting to me. It really is in the big scheme of things because, look, South Carolina's 2-6. And JC, I read thebigspur.com. Now, that's different. It's different. And we, doing this radio show, you know, yesterday we opened the phone lines. I see the text lines, people being upset, you know, whether they're being truthful, I say, or just trying to push the knife in a little bit further is always kind of interesting. It's always hard to tell if somebody is just, say, a fan of, say, Clemson or Georgia and just having a good time at the expense of a 2-6 Carolina team, or in this situation with Tyler from Spartanburg, just
Tyler,
a South Carolina fan who's calling. You don't know these days. You don't know. And then, of course, I will say there is the other segment of several of y'all out there, the co-pilot weighing in. You're playing into Dabo's game. It was all a setup. And several of y'all going, because there are people that believe, and maybe it's true, I can't say it's not, but several people who believe that this is a plant for Dabo to go on one of his rants and try and unify the fan base before Notre Dame comes in. But I do think this is interesting, and let me read these two text messages to y'all and get your take. Richard weighs in and says, I think coaches need to hear stuff like that so they get a reality check. Sometimes we need to be able to face the heat and reality, and that's what fans bring because they pay your salary. Rodney weighs in and said the fans pay to see quality. They have a right to confront the coach over the phone, not like they're going to his house or to his office. If Dabo can't handle criticism, he's in the wrong job. Preston, I'll start with you. And JC, I'll come to you. I mean, like, yeah, do fans have a right? I mean, I'm paying for, and we don't know who's a big time booster and donor.
Here's where I'll come to the defense of the fans, because as JC stated, the idea of asking confronting questions or questions that would challenge a coach, that is supposed to be the media's job. However, the media cannot do that job because if they do ask questions like that to a coach, they get exiled or they don't get paid attention to. Or like Lincoln Riley out in USC, coaches that media member does a story about the program and the coach says, you're no longer allowed here. We saw Steve Spurrier do that. So sometimes it is only the fans who have the ability because media people have to protect their relationships. They can't say certain things. Everybody's walking around pins and needles around the actual coaches. So the media's job is supposed to be maybe to ask some questions that require the coaches to respond in a way. And they're not allowed to do that either because they have to protect their positions too. So not saying that Tyler from Spartanburg asked the question appropriately or with the decorum that a media member would have, but maybe somebody does have to ask that question. I don't know.
JC?
Yeah, I think everything's got context. You know, I think I know at South Carolina we've never been afraid of being cut off by asking questions. Good Lord, I think probably would have been a couple times in several eras, myself included. But I get it, Preston, because you know you do see things like that, especially the situation at SC with Lincoln Riley was just bizarre. Whatever, it was a very benign article that guy ended up getting suspended over, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's the context, and I think that it's the approach too. I think that okay, call up Dabo and ask him why. Is there any reason why Garrett Riley's offense isn't working? I think a fair question to him is, Dabo mentioned, he's running the Clemson offense. Were you not letting Garrett Riley run the offense he ran last year at TCU?
Absolutely.
Where they played for a national championship. I think it's fair to call up and say, why didn't this guy play? Can you give me an answer on that? Because those are the things fans want to know about. Those are football topics. So attack him for his salary, to me, just shows a level of ignorance that kind of causes you to not want fans to be able to ask those questions, because it makes kind of all fans look bad. I mean, his salary is what it is. It's been known. It's not an issue. Why not ask a football question and show some intelligence rather than like what I consider to be taking a personal shot?
Agreed.
So that's, I don't think it's above, I don't think anybody's above approach. And I think fans can ask questions all they want. I think that there's a difference between just doing it to get a rise and saying something completely ignorant and then asking a legitimate question. And I think that's so I think that the fans that said they do need to be held accountable, I agree. That these guys make a lot of money, obviously, and like the guy like Tyler said, they do make a lot of money. I don't think you attack them for making that money, though. I think you ask legit questions, and then there are enough questions about Clemson and South Carolina both to where you could fill an hour asking Dabo and Shane legit football questions, things that need to be answered, things people wonder about, things that bring value to the discussion. But in this day and age, we have this thing called Twitter, where people just put like, oh, this guy's I mean, I literally have seen South Carolina this year, literally people on Twitter who think their opinion matters, who think, I guess because they have a couple followers or get a couple of retweets or their buddies on there, they call players trash. College kids, trash. Just trash. Oh, he's trash. And I'm not going to name the names of the players that I've noticed, but some of these guys are really good kids. Some of them have families, not just mom and dad, but kids, and they're out there doing the best they can and working their butt off for the university. Outcomes are outcomes. That doesn't mean you're trash. Life is about various outcomes. And, for someone else, as a man to man, a person to rage about your outcomes and attack you personally, I think it's fundamentally wrong and serves no purpose. Now, legit questions, all for. And I think coaches are partly to blame too, because they bristle at the football question.
Well,
don't question me about who's playing.
We saw that with a media member. Preston brought it up. James Franklin and the media member who basically was just like, hey, why don't you just throw it downfield? And James Franklin got upset about that.
This something we never. Well, that question makes my skin crawl. How could you ask a question like that? Why, James Franklin? We asked that because you don't do that. And all of a sudden, your team struggled offensively the next 2 weeks. The only time you did have any success is when you threw the ball
late
deep.
in the game, by the way, when they needed to.
Very late in the game.
Yeah,
so to your point, Bill, and to your point, JC, when sometimes when people do ask legit football questions, then you question the reporter or the media for questioning you. How dare you throw rocks at the throne of the head coach? As you said, JC, no head coach or football coach is above reproach, and they should all be asked questions.
Agreed. And I'll also say this too. That question, I heard that question. He could have said it a little better, and part of it's because reporters don't do homework anymore. I'm not saying nobody in our market. Again, I think those guys do a good job, but you could have come with some facts and said, instead of just being, hey, ever just thought about throwing it downfield? I mean, that's like Barney from the sports bar chomping on chicken wings, just harping on this one thing. And the answer is a little more complex than that. Like, nobody just says we want to chunk it downfield no matter what. What you do in that situation is you say, all right, these 3 times you guys have attacked vertically, the offense has done this, this, this. When you have it, it's done this, this, and this. What's the disconnect there? Why are you guys shying away from going vertical? And the answer could be something as simple as, well, guys are covered, or that's our offense, is based on reads and the quarterback's not reading it, or something like that. There's a football answer for everything. Now, did James Franklin hand that? And I think a lot of coaches, because they don't want to hear any questions about the X's and O's and personnel usage and stuff, that they do get extremely defensive, and I get that. But then there's also a decorum and a way that you can ask things, without upsetting the apple cart that benefits everybody, including the coach, the players, the program, and all that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sunshine and rainbows packaged question. It could be a very direct question, but you need to know your stuff and need to know how to ask it in a manner to where, it doesn't come across as just, Bobby Butthurt, sitting there mad and blowing off steam and are trying to get some street cred.
The pesky Pole weighs in. He says, I have 2 degrees. My wife got on me for leaving the toilet seat up this morning. I'm going to let her know expectations for me are now exceeding her appreciation of me.
That's right.
I will let you know how
That's
it goes.
I like that path.
I
like that path.
We will look for the follow-up to
Tyler.
that. Final segment of hour 2.
Karima.
You're listening.
That's my personal story.
And see, that's the kind of thing.
We got to go to a break. Hold on.
That's the kind of thing we can all have fun with there. I mean, I sound like I'm mad, but that's funny. That's funny what he said right there. That's funny. I think I'm going to say the same thing today.
Good luck. We'll be right back. You're listening to
Here's what's coming up on the game.
Carolina Calls with Shane Beamer, live from Backstreet Grill in Columbia. Thursday at 6 p.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This
Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Defensive coordinators, cornerbacks, and safeties have seen some scary Halloween movies featuring spooky, speedy, spidery wide receivers. Tyreek Hill is the scariest of them all. A.J. Brown haunts defenders, and Justin Jefferson is a human shapeshifter. And Travis Kelce, he has an almost paranormal psychic bond with Patrick Mahomes. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only.
Life matters. While Jerusalem was burning, Jeremiah cried over the destruction of his city. Though he had prophesied its fall for years, he grieved deeply when Jerusalem finally collapsed under the siege by Babylon. As Jerusalem lay in ruins, Jeremiah wrote the book of Lamentations. He wrote the sad song by arranging it according to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. This would aid in memorization of the poem, but it also served another purpose. Using all 22 letters caused him to grieve fully. He couldn't cut short the process. Our Daily Bread writer, Dennis Fisher, said, he took deliberate and intentional time to reflect upon and even wrote down his heartbreak. You might say he was learning to grieve from A to Z. If you've recently experienced painful loss, remember to take time to grieve fully and to receive God's help. He loves you more than you realize. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty reminding you that life matters, and so do you.
The most anticipated rock holiday tradition returns. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, Friday, December 8th. 2 shows, Colonial Life Arena, Columbia. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. A legendary blend of rock, classical, and holiday music for the entire family. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra's The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation.
Why wait until after Thanksgiving to start prepping for holiday cheer? Shop for the season now and save with Family Dollar. Shop for great deals on seasonal decor, baking essentials, and more. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Run, walk, celebrate at the Lexington Medical Center Run Hard Half Marathon, 10K and 5K on November 11th at the Lexington Baseball Stadium. These fun-filled events offer something for everyone. Register today at runhardhalf.org.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$7:49 on a Tuesday morning as we wrap up the Halloween edition with J.C. Sherbert. It's been entertaining, that is for sure. A lot of different opinions coming in, and yet we will continue to kind of discuss it. I think there's 2 levels to it. Obviously, yeah, we'll make a little fun of Dabo, certainly, but then I do think what the conversation we have had is more interesting because Preston will talk about it in the next hour with Pat Narduzzi and some other things. Yeah, coaches are, I mean, we saw it. We made fun of Ryan Day for getting all thin-skinned with Lou Holtz earlier this year. James Franklin, thin-skinned with a reporter. Guys, I'm pretty sure Shane Beamer, I don't know the exact question because I'll be honest, on Thursday nights, I really don't listen.
which you can tune into the Shane Beamer call-in show 6 to 7 on Thursday night here right here on 107.5 The Game and on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. But with all that being said, I think Shane Beamer dealt with something similar. Was it last year as it pertained to Marcus Satterfield? JC, does that seem right?
Oh yeah, it was the ski mask comment. Somebody got mud champ with that too, but I think Todd cut it off before anyone responded, but both times. So, and I wasn't a fan of that either. I said it on the Big Spur. I mean, everybody laughed, all that, and I think everybody knows where I stood as far as my opinion on that subject. But that's not the way, you handle it. It just, I don't know. I don't think that caused anything to change. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just somebody taking a shot and wanting their 10 minutes in the sun. A better question would have been like, hey, this guy obviously look at this, that, and the other. And yeah, Shane may have gotten mad, but at least it would have been a legitimate question and not a drive-by. Because what does that really mean? It means I'm a jerk. Calling in acting like a jerk. And jerks, last time I checked, unless they're highly intelligent and know how to be a jerk without being outward about it, and certainly neither one of those calls were intelligent, they don't really get that far with pushing their agenda.
About 3-4 minutes left. Give me your take this weekend. This was a game that probably when it was initially scheduled, you thought, man, get right game before a big stretch in November. Well, it turns out Rich Rodriguez has now come down there as head coach. South Carolina is a double-digit favorite, JC, but how do you view South Carolina and Jacksonville State this coming Saturday?
I'd take a 7-point win tomorrow. I think Rich Rod's offense presents some problems. They got a good dual-threat quarterback. They're good in the run game. South Carolina's going to have to be disciplined on defense. I think the good news is Jacksonville State's not very good defensively. I think South Carolina, with Mario Anderson, Spencer Rattler, even with a so-called patchwork offensive line, should have a good day on offense. The Gamecocks have had good days on offense every time they played at Williams-Brice. Like I said, they've only played there 3 times this year. So being at home is a good deal. And you've got to go win it and then build on that and go win the next week and build on that. It's a step. It's a 4-step deal. And I'll tell you, remember last season, there were 2 kind of get-right games. Now, I'm not saying that, these teams are better than Charlotte and SC State last year for sure. But there were 2 get-right games, and the Gamecocks won the next 2, including Kentucky, and then A&M at home. A&M kind of like Clemson, good team that's struggling. So there is precedent for this. They won 4 in a row last year. There's no reason why they can't do it this year. Unless they have like 2 or 3 more injuries on the O-line, then I think all bets are off, and it just is what it is. But I think it starts Saturday. I think the Gamecocks can go out and get a win and feel good about themselves, and then carry that over, and have a good November and salvage the season. It's definitely doable, folks. It's not, things don't look good right now, but the way the schedule sets up this year, this presents an opportunity.
Over under 5.5. Nicholas Harbor catches on Saturday. Does this breakout? Does this growth continue?
I'm going to go under. Now will they have 3 or 4? Yeah. But I'm going to go under on that. I think some other guys will be involved Saturday as well in the passing game. So is Nick ready to have that big 10-catch game or whatever? I don't know. Now there's a maybe to it there, but just my gut says it'll be pretty even distribution of the ball and things like that. So I don't know if Nick will quite get 6 catches. I hope he does, but I would go under on it.
We'll continue that. Looking ahead also real quick, defense, next step for them this weekend, as you said, get right game, but next step real quick.
Yeah, you got to be disciplined against these guys. I mean, it's your classic Rich Rod, zone read, West Virginia offense from 07 that still gets people fit. So you got to bottle up that quarterback and don't let them turn out first downs on the ground.
JC, we always appreciate it. Good luck with the passing out of candy tonight.
Look to get a picture of the costume and look forward to catching up next Tuesday.
Appreciate you guys. Thank
Appreciate you,
so much.
JC.
Oh, a lot of stuff there. We got some grades to pass out. Transfer portal Tuesday.
I don't even know if we get any grades today. It's just so much happening.
A lot happening. Hour 3 on the way.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
For the second year in a row, U.S. News and World Report has named Lexington Medical Center the best hospital in the Columbia metro region. We're proud to be the #1 hospital in the Midlands and the #2 hospital in the state. We're giving our best to care for you.
Welcome to BreezeLine, where next level internet speeds means next level productivity. Choose BreezeLine and go boss mode with next level internet and faster speeds backed by a fiber powered network. Terms and conditions apply. Go to breezeline.com to learn more.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds, and now I have metabolic flexibility. To me, this program is more than just about fat loss. It's about a lifestyle. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, where saving is always the name of the game. The lowest price, guaranteed, or they'll pay you $1,000. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
John Mellencamp, live and in person 2024.
Well, I was born in a small town. I live in a small town.
One night only.
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Saturday, April 20th, Township Auditorium.
That's when the school will start.
Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at mellencamp.com.
Locally owned Atlantic Windows and Doors has been making Columbia area homes more comfortable, attractive, weather-tight, and energy efficient for over 35 years. How? By distributing products from the best window and door manufacturers in the country. These products give you the best looks, the best quality, and the best value, all based on your specific needs. And everything is professionally installed by their dedicated and experienced employees, not subcontractors. Atlantic Windows and Doors. Visit them online at awdsc.com.
We are the Veterans Health Administration, and our hands provide life-changing care to over 9 million veterans across more than 1,200 facilities nationwide. Join hands with us to make an impact in your community. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
I-26 westbound just before I-126. The left lane is currently blocked. Also, I-26 eastbound just after 126. There is an accident there. They're kind of related with that left lane being blocked. I-26 westbound at exit 101 and I-77 northbound at exit 1 right there at I-26. A tie-up as well. Going to get cooler. 65 today with some showers, but no rain out for Halloween. So that's good news.
FM East over Columbia.
Hey, this is Michi Johnson here, South Carolina point guard, and you're listening to 1075 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Kansas and Illinois. Sounds like a great basketball game, Preston Thorne, but it's Illinois.
A lot of corn. A lot of corn.
A lot of corn. Is Illinois known as the Corn State?
Oh, there's a ton of corn. Yeah.
Really?
And Jen Jensen.
There was a school south of us that we played, and they were called, the town was Hoopston, and they were the Hoopston Corn Jerkers. Can't make it up.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Happy Halloween. As you were probably up, you've probably taken the kids to school, dropped them off. Hopefully you're on the way to the office, and then maybe you're dressed up. Maybe you're terrified of that coworker who's dressed up. We'll get into more costume discussion in this hour. None of us dressing. Jen does have some Halloween themed pants on, I guess, with yoga pants, workout pants.
They're I think I like high enough to show the live stream.
Yeah.
They're they have pumpkins on them.
There you go.
You can almost see. Look.
Yeah, Jen. There you go. You can go to youtube.com. Search
Isn't that
107.5
exciting?
Yep. Looks like some candy corn on there. Very good.
Well, it does actually, but they're just pumpkins.
Yep. Jen is the most festive of the three of us today. Is getting up at 5:15 and getting dressed for Halloween is really not in the contract.
I figured it out. You all missed my costume.
You're Rocky. Look at me. How good am I? But he's working out. He's got the jogging suit on.
I don't know how Preston put that together so quickly this morning.
Well done, Preston.
All right, on the live stream, let's move it
Look at
around
that.
here. Yeah, it's Rocky Thorne here.
Oh, that's perfect.
He
Gonna
does.
fly now.
Yes, this is the upside to Preston not being on
See?
the live stream. Nobody knows if that's exactly what he wore yesterday. There's that. So all right. So okay.
So you're basically out of it there, Bill.
I'm the only one.
Yep.
I'm the only one
See how quick it turned?
Yeah, that went poor. Poor. So speaking of things going poor and speaking of contracts, it has officially ended in Iowa. Officially ended. If you haven't seen it, Preston, there's a website. There was contracts. There's interim athletic directors. And as I love this because I've never read it described this way, historic struggles. Iowa and Brian Ferentz will part ways.
Yeah, our Hawkeye football coach Brian Ferentz' contract was amended last year that he had to meet two objectives. He had to average 25 points per game, and they had to win 7 games. That was tricky because Iowa always wins 7 games,
right?
But they never score 25 points. And true to Iowa fashion, they are on pace to win their slotted amount of games. And just as we stated, their current average right now is 19.5 points per game. And I guess the interim director, Miss Beth Gates, I guess she just figured out, she did the math and was like, you're not going to reach this objective. How much further are we going to go here? Let's just end this. And so she said that she had to have a conversation with Brian and with Kurt and had to let them both know that we're not going to be doing this anymore. So Brian's going to stay with the team throughout the rest of the season, through the bowl game, but this will be his last year with Iowa football.
Iowa is averaging 19.5 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for 118th nationally.
Yep.
Hawkeyes last, dead last. Not in the Big Ten, not in the Power 5. The Hawkeyes are dead last nationally in yards per game at 232.4.
That's what we do.
Now you're like, no, that probably can't be right. No, they are 24.4 yards behind the next worst offense. That would be Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is second to last in yards per game at 258.8. It does state that the Hawkeyes have faced several setbacks. They did lose their starting quarterback, former Michigan quarterback Cade McNamara, tight end Luke Lachey, and another tight end, Eric, all to significant injuries. However, since Brian Ferentz, son of Kirk Ferentz, since Brian Ferentz took over in 2017, that's when he became offensive coordinator. He was a former offensive lineman for his dad. Since 2017, Iowa has ranked 98th nationally in scoring at 25.3 points per game. But the offense has averaged just 20.4 points per game since the start of the 2021 season.
Mm-hmm. He's not been very good. I think Iowa is a test case, Bill, for at least we ain't, or I wish we were. Because some of those statistics lead me to say, man, at least we ain't Iowa. However, what's Iowa's record?
Do they still only have? I think they lost. They're at 2 losses now. I believe they're at 6-2. Is that right?
Correct.
6-2.
They are at 6-2. Bill, what is our record?
It's not the same.
Well,
the numbers are the same.
Inverse.
Right.
So Iowa. Bill, I pose the question to you. At least we ain't, or I wish we were.
Well, it's a good question. And here's why. Because Iowa is what Kirk Ferentz has built there is a very strong program. I mean, I remember what South Carolina played Iowa in the Outback Bowl, and I believe 08, I think it was, and just ran. It was ugly. I think it was 31-10, and that wasn't even indicative of the game. The game felt more like 56-3. It was ugly. I believe it was Stephen Garcia who started that morning in the Outback Bowl, and it was bad. The problem here is, do you know how many points Iowa has scored in their losses?
I don't know how many points they've scored in their losses, but I do know they're playing Northwestern, I believe, this week, and I believe the over-under is set at 29, which is the lowest ever in.
Yeah, they get Northwestern this weekend. Iowa likely will finish 10-2.
Yeah,
or should.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite frank, they should be 7-1. They lost Penn State 31-0, and really no shame in that. But
shame in that, because Penn State is one of the 2 best teams in the nation.
True, according to James Franklin. But the 0 is a problem. They did just lose to Minnesota 12-10.
Yeah, they did lose to Minnesota 12-10. There was some slight controversy on the punt return that they said it was a fair catch. He returned it. That would have put them ahead. They didn't. They got the ball. They failed to go 20 yards to get into field goal position.
There also is some kind of crazy stat about the Iowa victory over Wisconsin, in which, and I'd have to go back and pull it up, but that they only ran 4 plays. They won that game 15-6. And they essentially only ran like 4 plays inside of their own territory. Not inside of the red zone, because they had an 82-yard touchdown run and a safety to get them to 9, and then they kicked 2 field goals that essentially resulted in them getting the yardage necessary to get into field goal territory. It's been questionable. And Iowa, again, when you say at least we ain't, wish we were, there's a side of you that if you're an Iowa fan, you're like, yeah, we should be so much better than this.
That's the whole issue with a lot of the Iowa fans, is because they recognize where they are, what they are in the landscape of college football, but they've been able to put together a solid program with a shell of an offense, just playing fundamental, hard-nosed defense. They're explosive as far as takeaways are concerned. And so a lot of them feel as if they have an opportunity that's in front of them, and it's just that it's not just that it's the offensive coordinator, it's that it's the coach's son. It's that he's been in the program for long. He's been inept as far as offense is concerned. And they feel like this might be the chance for them to take a next step. And so I've always been fascinated with Iowa because they're not leading the nation in recruiting. They don't have all of the quote-unquote resources, but they still find ways to go out there and win despite having a far below average offense. And so I'm curious. At least we ain't. Or would it be cool to be a team that wins a lot of games every year?
15-12.
I don't care.
There was an article last night. It was an opinion piece, not sourcing any actual unnamed sources or anything. It's just an opinion piece. Kirk Ferentz is 68 years of age. Why do I say that? Well, they've basically just fired his son.
It fired him because he was planning for his son to be the next head
Right,
coach. That's
right.
what he was hoping to win.
Perk Ferentz would be 69 years of age. His birthday is August 1st. He's making good money. He makes $7 million a year. But you wonder, I mean, he's been the head coach at Iowa since 1999. He's coming up on 25 years. And there was an article last night, opinion piece on one of the Iowa websites that just thinks this might be the thing that he just decides it's time to get away, to step away from this, to enjoy, the last several years of his life, to be around his grandkids. And if that's the case, it kind of suggested, hey, who would fit the Iowa mold? Who would fit the Iowa mold? Name thrown out there that they're very high on, does more with less, fits kind of the Iowa motto. You want to take a guess?
Oh, Mark Stoops?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
and I say that because I feel like there's a
made.
lot of people, a lot of South Carolina fans would be like, yes, can we get Mark Stoops out of Lexington, Kentucky? Not that we shouldn't beat him, but that there's no way Kentucky can get what he's done at Kentucky is mildly impressive into how he's kind of molded them into, I'd say, a thorn in the sides of SEC teams. They're not going to win the East. They're going to jump up and win 9 games every once in a while. They're a tough. The culture and the mindset there is different.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really interesting pick because that seems like a match as far as the stylistically, culturally fit, and he obviously understands the area. That I wouldn't see. That probably is going to be the thing. That's why the AD had to go through and talk with Kurt and Brian. I really wonder how that conversation went, how this thing has been happening. I think that's a very interesting way is how the whole situation played out because it's not just his offensive coordinator, it's his son. Rarely does this happen in the middle of a year and amidst what people would consider success. I mean, again, they're 6-2. We are not.
Well,
we'd be very happy to be 6-2 right now.
This is the interim athletic director, Beth Gotts, I believe is how you say her last name. She, as you said, she has been the supervisor for Brian Ferentz because of nepotism laws. And so he really has not answered to his father. He has had to answer to her. And basically she noted the Iowa struggles on offenses and combined with Ferentz's contract situation created a unique situation for the program. She said in a statement yesterday, making this known today is the best interest of the program and its loyal fans. It provides clarity during this pivotal time in the schedule. It's her doing actually a very good job of getting out ahead of a situation where maybe fans, as we've been talking, fans are calling into call-in shows and ripping the coach, questioning the coach in a call-in show, taking unnecessary shots at the coach's son. It's a good job by her, but we'll see. Just because, again, I think it's interesting from an SEC standpoint, maybe from a future scheduling for South Carolina standpoint. If you could get Mark Stoops out of Lexington, Kentucky, I think that would help the future scheduling. I don't know if Kentucky can continue to sustain the success without Mark Stoops. I think he's a very solid coach. A little awkward,
yeah,
a little odd at times.
He's uniquely suited for that job. Even if they brought in a quote unquote bigger name, I don't know if somebody would be able to go into that place and have the success that he has.
We'll give you. There is a few other things there as it pertains tonight. You've got the revealing of the college football playoff rankings. First one, it's going to be unnecessary. It won't mean anything, but we'll discuss it. We'll get upset at it tomorrow morning and get all fired up about it. We'll do that. Also, Preston's got some grades to give out, get into some transfer portal Tuesday stuff. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game. Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 1075 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Jay Phillips here with Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. The real estate market is heating up, and if you're building or buying a new home, you need to call 107.5 The Game's longtime mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. If you ever needed a guru that's in this market, First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated in the Midlands with local decision makers. Processing and underwriting are made easy. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call at 803-719-1005 or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
With football in the air, we know fall is here, and people will be moving. Here at First Palmetto Bank, we have products that help home buyers keep payments down. Also, ask me about our refinance options that require zero money out of pocket. Finally, if you're considering building or renovating a home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. If I can help you, give me a call today, 803-719-1005.
You're making mortgages easy, doing refinancing with no money out of pocket and helping build and renovate. If you're moving, make Jacob Crowder your first call, 803-719-1005.
Thanks, 107.5 listeners. You can also email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com. My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender.
For the second year in a row, U.S. News and World Report has named Lexington Medical Center the best hospital in the Columbia Metro region. We're proud to be the #1 hospital in the Midlands and the #2 hospital in the state. We're giving our best to care for you.
Don't miss Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's thrilling fall sale. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms cleaned for $129. Or schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, is the right way to clean.
911, what's your emergency?
My husband is hurt.
Can you tell me what happened?
He was digging a hole. There was a loud noise and he fell to the ground.
Don't be a statistic. Always call or click South Carolina 811 before you dig. Sponsored by South Carolina 811, aired by SCBA and this station.
Palmetto Propane, a family-owned company, has been delivering propane to homes and businesses for more than 60 years. With professional installation, exceptional service, and premium gas log and outdoor fire features, we're proud to be South Carolina's leading full-service propane and fuel provider. And our online payment and scheduling give you the access you need anytime, anywhere. Visit us at palmettopropane.com to connect with us and to find a location near you.
Hey, it's Trey Knox and Boogie Huntley. This fall, if you're not in Williams-Brice cheering on the Gamecocks, you need to be out at Charwood Golf Club, my favorite course to play here in Columbia. If you think the field at Williams-Brice Stadium is nice, you'll love what Rock and Daniel Lucas have done over at Charwood Golf Club, the Midland's best-kept secret. Book your tee time today at 803-755-2000 or online at charwood.com. Take it from us. Golf is better when you're playing at the Wood.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Big tie up on I-20 westbound at exit 108. It has things blocked, probably a good, a lot. A good 7 miles. It's backed up at least to I-77. So again, that's I-26 westbound. Pack your patience if you're heading that direction. Big slowdown. Down at least 1 lane, if not more, at exit 108. Also, I-77 northbound right there at I-26. An accident as well. And Raiden Road at Farrow Road. 65, breezy with some showers today.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
and Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Eight zero 404-6100 is how you can weigh in. Again, tomorrow we are expecting, we're waiting confirmation, but we are expecting Lamont Paris to be in studio with us. Gamecock head men's basketball coach Lamont Paris expected in with us tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. We definitely want to talk about his team, but we want to cut up with him and learn a little bit about him. I understand he is a good cook. If you've listened to this show, you know that fits in very well with us. So we are expecting him, waiting on final confirmation for that. But Lamont Paris expected to join us tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. And then also, reminder, tomorrow night, get out to Colonial Life Arena, year 2. It's not the official start because that'll be a week from today. But year 2 of the Lamont Paris era gets going. You can go out and check out the team. They will have a charity exhibition game against Wofford. So at least you get a quality opponent. No offense to anybody else, but you get an opponent where you can learn a little bit about the basketball team, and they'll take on Wofford tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Colonial Life Arena. It is $10 general admission. You can walk up to the door and purchase tickets, but get out tomorrow night. It's going to be cold, but you can go and get some dinner. Maybe you can go see our buddy Brian Glenn at Village Idiot, grab a little pizza, and then head on over to the arena and check out the Gamecocks tomorrow night. Doors will open at 6. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. $10 general admission tickets to the Gamecocks. And the Gamecocks and the Terriers tomorrow night is taking place. Again, charity exhibition. Then a week from today, Preston and Jen, a week from today, Lamont Paris and the Gamecocks get going against USC Upstate. So we will start to dig into some basketball a little bit, as well as get you ready for South Carolina Jacksonville State this coming Saturday at noon right here on 107.5 The Game, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Speaking of which, grades from the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Our own Professor Thorne gives out his candy bars, king size, fun size. Maybe you got to just give out certificates this week. It is Halloween, and you will have to give out some. Real quick, Chandler says Bill hands out Almond Joys for Halloween. That'd be delicious. I think a lot of people would be into that.
Like I said, I am an Almond Joy and a Mound fan also.
Yeah. All right.
Well, unfortunately, didn't have to go shopping for a lot of candy again this week, Bill. So if any of these players are coming up to my door, some of them are getting like raisins, dental floss.
How about the pack of 10 pennies? Because everybody's got the pack of 10. You can't do anything with these pennies, like anything at all.
Pack of pennies. Definitely not a lot of full size candy bars. But despite the 3 intentional groundings, Spencer Rattler very close to grading out at a 68.7. As I said, if we lose, we don't ground up. So 68.7, pretty close. Our first fun size candy bar is going to go to Mario Anderson, grading out at 73.9. As we stated, he has really come along this year. Has been a pleasant surprise, I think, to everybody. And that's been a really, really pleasant addition to the offense. He graded out the highest in the running back room. And our receivers, we had one receiver grade out with a fun size candy bar, and that's going to go to Trey Knox. Just slipping in at 70.3, the highest of the wide receiver room. Nobody else graded up very high. What was shocking, if you look at the snap count, you're going to have the people who did not play many snaps, which was Eddie Lewis and Marion Brown. I don't know what was going on there, but not
Brown's
a lot of,
hurt, and we don't know what.
We don't know what's going on with Eddie Lewis. So Marion Brown's hurt, and Eddie Lewis is no snap. So we keep an eye on that. Back again to the offensive line. Nobody graded out. No fun size. No king size for the big guys. And nobody played well this game. That's just what it was. Graded out fairly low for everybody, the whole group included. And so offensively, you had 2 guys grade out, Mario Anderson and Trey Knox. That should tell us a story. That's not going to be well enough. That's not going to be good enough to win anywhere, especially in the SEC. Defense. Let's start with the line. Let's start with up front. Bill, I think you're seeing some consistent improvement up front from the defensive line. Our highest grade is going to go to TJ Sanders.
He's played well. TJ Sanders, to me, I get it, 2-6. There are few silver linings. We can only brag about the play of Spencer Rattler for so long, and obviously this week it was not. TJ Sanders, though, I think is what you expect Travian Robertson to develop, and you've seen him come along and become a force on that interior of the line.
TJ Sanders graded out at a 78, so fun size turn, very close to getting a full size at that 80 mark. If somebody's playing at an 80 mark, you can win very consistently with that. Tyreek Johnson, 74.
His best game of his career.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any question about it. That was his best game, and I'm not 100% sure because there was a change kind of in scheme, allowing Bam Martin-Scott and Jaron Willis to get in there and play a little bit more and rush the quarterback, and that might have freed up Tyreek Johnson a little bit. By the way, as you kind of mentioned, TJ Sanders led the defensive line in snaps played, the entire defensive line. Tyreek Johnson was second, 43.
Also, again, when you hear the correlation of the high amount of snaps played and a high grade, that means they played really well that game. So shout out to them. And those are your two guys that grade out. Brian Thomas graded out at 90.4. Very few snaps, but when he was in the winning game, he did play well.
22 snaps for him. Now, he had that dislocated finger. I'll be interested. He again was the guy that during the spring game showed, and then he's kind of disappeared a little bit this year. But he was in on I think that was the play where he forced a fumble too.
Early sack fumble. So those are the guys that graded out highest on the D line. One person graded out on the linebackers, that was Debo with a fun size at 70.1. A lot of tackles, very active. Obviously, Debo has shown himself to make a lot of big hits. Has to shore up his game as far as playing the fits and the complementary parts of the game. But he is definitely a catalyst for the defense, and he's explosive out there. But he's the linebacker, the only one that graded out. You had some of those guys that came on late. Talking about like Jaron Willis, he graded out a little bit lower, not as many snaps. Hopefully he will continue to come along. DBs, I saw with my eyes, and I'm glad the grades confirmed that our highest DB grade out was Marcellus Dial.
Okay,
I graded out at a 77, so we're going to give him a fun size. Graded out, played very well. I thought he tackled extremely well. Did well in coverage. You can't see all of the coverage stuff from our vantage points, but you can see that when he had a chance to make a tackle, he did. Very close to grading out that if we would have won this game, I would have gave him a fun size as Nick Emenwari at 69.1. Very, very close. Can't give him that because we lost, but he got up to the level that we played at. And then Jalen Kilgore is the next highest at a 65. The rest of the DBs graded out not as high. And when you can't have the consistency, if you have two guys grading out, but then the other guys grading out very, very low, that's going to be very difficult for you to perform well as a secondary.
Yeah, you mentioned Kilgore, 61 snaps. Judge Collier having to fill in for O.D. Fortune. You know, this is something we had talked about, is getting guys in there to provide depth. And at some point, you might just have to take a chance. And if they get beat, they get beat. We saw Keenan Nelson Jr. appear back. Hadn't seen him really since the second game, really since the first. But he got in there for 24 snaps. I think at some point you just have to play those guys, and they're going to have to learn trial by fire. You know, Cam Smith really struggled early on in his career. I think in particular the Tennessee game to start the COVID year, he was not good, then had a ball bounce off his foot late in that game off of a punt that he was in there for. You just have to build depth, Preston, not only because after this year you lose Marcellus Dial, but because simply put, you can't have guys out there running around 70 plays trying to cover guys. And there's going to be breakdowns. Judge Collier's getting 48 snaps. Keenan Nelson Jr. getting 24. I thought that was a nice step forward for them.
Yeah, and the thing about the snap count is that obviously you play less snaps when you get off the field on those situations, when you get out of those third downs and those fourth downs. So, yes, they may have stopped them on third down, but they gave up a lot of yards. So now you have fourth and inches. You give up that, and now you have a whole new set of downs and just another four plays. And you have to be able to get off the field, obviously, to get your offense the ball back, but to give you a chance and opportunity to rest also.
803-404-6100. We'll do some depth chart talk discussion because it is depth chart day, but I might have a depth chart Preston Thorne to really get into.
Yes, depth charts.
You're listening to the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game. Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 1075 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach
and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all players to understand the games they play before they pay. Understand the odds of the games they offer, common lottery myths, and the science of problem gambling at sceducationlottery.com/better. The lottery is a game, so let's keep it fun.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds. Not only did I lose fat, I significantly lowered my A1C in making better choices that are sustainable. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
The Gamecock men's basketball season is almost here. Secure your season tickets today for year 2 of the Lamont Paris era and catch all the games at Colonial Life Arena this season. Home opponents for the 2023-2024 season include Notre Dame, Kentucky, Tennessee, and more. Season tickets start at less than $6 per game. To learn more and secure your season tickets, visit thegamecockclub.com today.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty, complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon Certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Football season is grilling season, and Jack Oliver's Pool Spa and Patio is South Carolina's premier source for the Big Three: Weber, Traeger, and Big Green Egg Grills. Blackstone Griddles, too. I'm Jack Oliver. Grill all your tailgate favorites to perfection with a premium gas, charcoal, or pellet grill, then top it all off with something sizzling from your Blackstone Griddle. For grills, griddles, patio furniture, hot tubs, and saunas, shop in store or online at Jack Oliver's Pool Spa and Patio, Forest Drive in Columbia, and JackOliverPools.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game. 107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
I-26 westbound before exit 108. There is a big tie-up there, and that has traffic backed up at least I-77. So allow a little extra time or try to find an alternate route right now until they get that finally cleared up. Also have an accident, Raven Road at Faro. I-26 eastbound at I-20, a report of an accident there. Also I-20 eastbound at Broad River Road. So be careful out there if you would. Looking for a few showers today. A high of 65 will not wash out Halloween, so that is good news. Right now, it's 59.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Coming up in about 5 hours from now, Shane Beam will take to the podium, and we will hear him look ahead to Jacksonville State. We'll put that Texas A&M game, as we have given the grades now. We will put that Jacksonville State game, we'll put the Texas A&M game behind us and move ahead to Jacksonville State this coming Saturday noon game over at Williams-Brice Stadium. You know, one of the interesting things, Preston, is going to be the continued development of Nick Harbor, at least on this depth chart. Preston, I was going through the depth chart here trying to figure out what's real and what's not. Nick Harbor now listed as the starter at one wide receiver position. Amarion Brown also listed as starter. Not sure his health with his hamstring for this coming weekend. And then you have Xavier Legette and Omega Blake listed as Legette listed as a starter, Blake as the backup at another wide receiver position. But Nick Harbor's development is going to be pretty important. Other than that, no major changes. What I can say, there's a few ones I can just recognize in the defensive secondary. Keenan Nelson Jr. now backing up DQ Smith at free safety. You've got Jalen Kilgore actually listed as the starter at nickel. So no major changes there, and definitely nothing along the offensive line that would give me any idea of what they're going to talk about. But I'll go back to what I asked J.C. Sherbert about Nick Harbor and ask you 5.5 receptions this weekend. He's coming on. I mean, that was an improvement. He's learning to do it. You've seen freshmen in your time, just all of a sudden the light comes on, they develop. You taking over 5.5 receptions for Harbor this week or under?
It depends on how I want to look at it. I'm going to say under, and that's a good thing. Because I think if we got an over on Nick Harbor, that means we're not producing in other places, and I don't think that's best for the team. So if we're having the receptions, I'm going to say under, that being a good thing. I would like to see XL's numbers go back up. I would like to see Omega Blake maybe contribute a little bit more. But I'm gonna take the under, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it just felt like Spencer Rattler was starting to look Harbor's way more or less. Now, Xavier Legette was not completely healthy, and he should be completely healthy this weekend. But I think Nick Harbor's size, and I think Spencer Rattler is learning him a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Harbor. It might not be 7 catches for 140 yards, but it wouldn't surprise me almost in kind of that Jared Cook hybrid tight end role that we saw Steve Spurrier love to use. Rory Anderson was another big kid that size. And, the only other guy you've really got that is of that size, of that physical size, is Trey Knox, who's 6'5", 240. Mm-hmm. And Harbor is a bigger body. We saw that catch against Florida where he was able to box out the DB. It wouldn't surprise me to see him used in more of that role. You're not going to see him lined up on the end of the line blocking. That's not who he is, and that's not what he's going to be about.
Yeah, that's not his thing. But as you can say, sometimes guys come, they're ready to go because they're just ball players. They're ready to go. Sometimes, contrary to popular belief, it does take development. It does take getting used to this new thing called college football, getting used to a whole new system, getting used to a new environment, new classes, new building, new bedroom. Everything is different for freshmen, and I think we take that for granted a lot of times when we talk about, well, why isn't this kid developing? Literally, he's only been here for 12 weeks. That's not that long of time. So look at the rate of development. I think he is coming along at a rate that is very much trending towards the positive. And the other thing, Bill, is that off the field, what I noticed, what a lot of people noticed, I'm not the only one, he made that drop, and all of his teammates came up to encourage him. One, that shows a lot about the team's culture, but also that shows a lot about him. Because if he was not a guy that a lot of people on the team liked or felt like they had some sort of kinship towards, that would not have been that situation. And so I think little things like that show that this guy is developing in the grand scheme of the team.
I think what you kind of bring up, he wasn't a polished football player coming out. He was a 5-star athlete because he runs fast, he's big, he's more physical than the kids. He was a 5-star athlete. He wasn't a 5-star football player. There's a total difference there. And there's a lot of work that needed to be done with his development. And you're seeing, I think, that kind of come along for him. I also just want to point this out. If you look at how Jacksonville State is going to line up, their defensive backs have some size. Their starting defensive back group, they've got an Orr. I know you'll love that. But they've got two that are 6'1", and then they've got another who's 5'11". A lot of their defensive backs are going to be 6'1". And, yeah, you can still – this is a situation where Nick Harper can go out and use his size and kind of maybe be able to attack these guys maybe in a little bit different way. Let's say an Omega Blake, who's not exactly a small guy, but a Tyshawn Russell, a Marion Brown, if he does play, really can't. And I think that's why you like maybe him and Leggett this week being able to go against those guys.
Remember, that's one of the things I said at the beginning of the year. I love to have a wide receiver room with different types of pieces. You have your big, fast guy, your big, strong guy, your little shifty guy, your slot receiver. All of those different pieces make a complete wide receiving core, and they give you different options when you're trying to attack a defense, especially a defense in which you should be more talented than. You should be able to find a matchup and be able to exploit it.
One other thing to keep an eye on this week, it's more of a 3-3-5 look from Jacksonville State. They've got a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, and a defensive end, along with a bandit position. They're not going to run a defensive lineman out there that's 330 pounds or 300 pounds. Excuse me, they are definitely not 330. According to their depth chart, their two biggest guys are defensive tackle Jackson Luthrell, who's 6'3", 280, and nose tackle Jeff Marks, who's 280. They do have a backup who's 305, but that's it.
How tall is Jeff Marks?
Jeff Marks is 6'3".
Oh, they gave him 6'3"?
6'3", yeah.
The nose tackle? Okay, I was just getting ready to say, because it sounded like he was going to fit into my profile of, I might be 6 foot. Maybe not.
That's a game. Again, offensive line should be able to go out and block. 803-404-6100. So that's just a little depth chart update. Now comes for the more important ones. All right, Jen, Preston, here we go. This is according to CNN.com, this year's most popular Halloween costume. I'm going to need your depth chart. I'm going to roll this out here, and I'll have to get your depth chart on this. So just a couple of the more popular ones. Wednesday Addams.
Okay.
Wednesday Addams. I'm going to give you what I would say is
big show on Netflix.
Okay, I'm going to give you what I would assume is the female version here. Wednesday Addams. Barbie is listed here. You have also had, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Thank you, Kansas City Chiefs in football.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. So give me your depth chart, 1, 2, 3 on that.
Well, you have to go with Taylor's. Taylor's
one?
Taylor's one because of the Eras tour, Bill. She has various different costumes that you can wear. So you could you could be Taylor for the whole weekend. You could be here on Friday. You can be in your 1989 era. You can be in your early era. You can do all types of things with Taylor Swift. So that's got to be number one.
Okay, where are you going to? Barbie or Wednesday Addams? I got to admit, I didn't even know Wednesday Addams was a Netflix
big show on Netflix. Then I think for the same reason you go with Barbie too, because there's various Barbies you can be. You can be like teacher Barbie, lawyer Barbie. You can be construction worker Barbie. Yes. A lot of different things you can do. Wednesday Addams, I mean, you're pretty limited. You're just wearing black hair.
Yeah, but aren't you going for kind of a goth Halloween, like paint the face kind of white, the dark pigtails?
Yeah, it just doesn't have a lot of range. If you can nail it and do very well, but I don't know if there's a lot of range. Also, I don't know what the goth scene is like for kids these days, but I feel like there's some folks that are just dressing up as Wednesday Addams every day. At least they were when I was in high school. When the golf scene was really strong. So I feel like some of the real goths might not like that because they're posers. You know what I'm saying? So We don't do that.
We'll get Preston's take on the boys' side of things.
Okay.
When we come back, one of them, I didn't even know it was a costume, but I'll get into that with him. You're listening to the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game. Hey, Gamecock fans, it's tailgating time. And now's your chance to qualify to win an EU 2200i generator from Carolina Honda Powerhouse, valued at over $1,300. Just go to 1075thegame.com or stop by any live broadcast to register.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Nick Saban. The 72-year-old Alabama coach said his best birthday gift would be a solid team performance Saturday night against LSU. Saban joked that when you get older, birthdays that line up near holidays or during football season don't get as celebrated. I'm Boomer Science.
CBS Sports Radio.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 plus. President State Offer Wager. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit MDGamblingHelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Help is here. Visit GamblingHelpMA.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause thousands of dollars in damage to your home's foundation. Canty Foundation can replace your gutters and save you money.
Canty installs gutter shutter.
Call us today for your free inspection.
Canty can fix it.
Having a reliable gutter system is essential to protecting your home's interior and exterior. Heavy rain can unleash gallons of water onto your home, and poorly maintained or leaky gutters could lead to roofing, siding, and water damage that is expensive to repair or replace. Online at candygutters.com.
Oh, this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Your home, your family, your moments. First Alert is reminding you to be prepared and install smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level, plus the kitchen, and know how to use them. Protect your moments and your home with safety you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
Are you a business owner in need of financing? Then you need Swish Funding, the better way to get the funding you need. Our simple application process takes just minutes, with funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $5,000 to $5 million. If you've been in business for 1 year and have monthly revenue of at least $25,000, you could get the affordable funding you need with no collateral at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
Early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Final segment of the Halloween edition of the early game. Get yourself up, get yourself dressed. All right, so in the previous segment, we went through the top three, or what's listed kind of here. Again, many different websites, many different
opinions, but I gave you kind of the top 3 there. I missed one. I didn't even know the Halloween costumes that this is one, and it is you can go as Barbie, or you can go the one that I didn't know was a costume that apparently people are dressing up as this year, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Barbenheimer. You don't remember that?
So apparently, some of you out there are doing a mashup.
Yeah, well, of course, that's an easy one.
Barbenheimer. How would you do that?
Well, if you're doing a couples deal, one could be one could be the other.
No.
Or if it's all you could play with the colors. You can play with maybe mascara or the hairdo. There's something, props. You can always bring props. Oppenheimer might have a huge prop you could bring.
Okay, well, apparently to this, there is 2 different ways to do it. All it says, the options are endless, but the 2 main ways: a pink suit with a pink top hat for
Barbenheimer,
or a classic Barbie costume paired with a brooding look and a pipe.
Yeah, that one's weak. We'll go with the first one. We'll go with the first one.
So I didn't realize that. Going back, the appears to be the best 3 right now, the top 3. Oppenheimer is in there. Spider-Man, which apparently
perennial,
it actually says it is now this year. This year was the 3rd most searched Halloween costume, falling from its number 2 ranking last year. So Spider-Man is up there. Like, apparently, if you were to go all time, I'd have to go. That's going to take me down a whole nother path of looking up all time rankings of costumes. But Oppenheimer, Spider-Man, or Super Mario Brothers. Give me your depth chart there.
Well, you're gonna have to
regular Oppenheimer, by the way. The guy that
Oppenheimer's 3rd because that's very boring, and the movie was long and it's destructive. I'm not doing that. So we're gonna go with Super Mario Brothers, but the caveat is we're gonna go 1A, 1B. You have to go Luigi as B, as 1A. I mean, Mario's gonna be 1A because that's obvious. You don't want to do that. But then if you want to expand into the Super Mario Brothers world, you can go with King Koopa. You can go with Princess Leia. You can go with anybody. There's a lot of places you can go. You can dress as a mushroom if you would like.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I feel like the Super Mario Brothers world is vast and varied. You can do a lot of things with that.
That would also, by the way, it says Oppenheimer edged out the Ken doll. Ken going as kind of the variety of Kens.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and I think your job there of your face explains everything for the Ken.
Yeah, that's not good.
Spider-Man was 2. So and this, by the way, I did not know this. I have not watched these Spider-Man movies, but this does give me a breakdown. Kind of going to your point, it says though Mike Morales and Gwen Stacy are classic characters to make, dressing up as Spider-Punk from the film is sure to be a hit.
Mm-hmm. You could be Venom.
Well, or it says you could look incredibly cool as Dad Peter Parker with a great low-effort option. His most memorable scene features him in a pink bathroom with a baby strapped to his chest, easily recreated with a baby doll.
Peter Parker's the easy one that you could definitely pull off.
Where do you 2 rank all time? Because somebody's going to do this. It's going to pop up on social media as Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation. No? You're out on that?
All right.
Cousin Eddie, Christmas Vacation costume?
It'd be simple to do.
Oh, it's a popular one. I don't know if the weather permits it tonight. Tights on a costume don't work.
Yeah, no rank. No rank. I do like I said, I do like the Super Mario Brothers universe. You can expand that on.
Yeah, I really think there is a right, and a family could do that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you messed up. I didn't even catch this because I didn't watch Super Mario. It's Princess Peach, not Princess Layla.
My fault. My bad.
Princess
That's
Peach.
what I meant.
A couple of y'all are weighing in. Yeah,
I was thinking about my Mario Kart. I had it in my mind, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're
keep me accountable. Thank you.
Trying to do it. You got homework tonight. Send us if you dress up. Send us a picture tomorrow morning. Text in a picture. Maybe we'll get if we get Coach Parrish, maybe we'll have him judge the best.
Yeah, we're in the Thorne household. We're locked in.
Is it a group effort, or would we all go our separate ways?
Well, see, this is my thing, and I've been wondering about this. I didn't want to bring this to the radio, Bill, but when did everybody start dressing up? I thought it was just the kids thing. I didn't know I had to be involved with the child's costume. I didn't know everybody in the whole family was involved in this. I thought it was good enough to just get her little Elsa dress and let her be that. No problem. She went backwards between being Elsa and Anna. One day she wanted to be Anna. We ordered that one. Then she wanted to be Elsa, going back and forth on that. Somehow I got roped into being the little antler. The wife is Olaf, so I had to be Sven.
Yeah, the moose or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be a whole family
Why?
now.
When did this happen?
Well, tell Tyler we got to hold one more hour down.
Tyler.
we got more to get to. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. Lamont Paris expected in studio with us from 8 to 9. We'll have some NFL grades.
There he is, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do Transfer Portal Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Happy Halloween.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory.
I didn't hear the. Y'all have a great day. Take care. Everybody have a happy Halloween. Stay safe tonight. Take care.